psychological blockage.
But
When
he
you
just
give him
won't-
everything he asked for, and then he still comes up with random other theories because he just anything except this sufficient theory to me.
But
That's
what
psychological blockage.
what I'm saying is, he says I can't conceive of there being a psychological blockage here, or some intellectual like mistake I'm making, and I think that that's not possible. You can conceive of it, just like I said. I can conceive of a situation.
Yeah, I can
in
conceive
which
of Taco being
Catholicism is
religious.
disproven, and you can conceive of Islam being disproven, but me like
Wait,
having
I
a
can conceive
psychological.
Ben, you're
being,
saying you can't conceive of a
transsexual
world
woman.
where there is no God?
No, I can't do that, but I can certainly conceive of a world in like a situation in which Christianity is disproven.
Leo, he's saying I cannot conceive of new logical laws and laws of physics. He's telling you it's impossible for me to create these new laws because just like color, I cannot think of anything that is.
So
Hey,
I mean, you
Dad,
could
Dad,
say-
can I ask
What
you
are
a
you going
question?
off about?
You conceive of
That's what you asked him. You asked him, can you conceive that the necessary being that necessitates the existence of the Big Bang was that energy came from outside of
Dad,
the
wait.
closed system of energy?
I never said anything
That does
like
not
that.
exist. That's what you were asking him. Basically, he has to conceive of a
I
whole new
didn't,
set
I
of
didn't
laws of
ask him
physics.
that. I don't
Yes,
know.
it's
what
easy.
you-
I don't know
imply.
whose
You
ass you pulled that out
to
of, whether it was
reconceive
your
the laws
own,
of physics.
or
No,
I don't know,
Ben,
maybe the
that is
donkey or
eight laws of
something you have
physics.
in your backyard. But I never said asked
calm
or
down, hey.
implied, let alone insinuated
God is
anything
in laws
even
of
remotely
physics.
approaching
You
what
want a
just came
bloodbath.
out of your mouth.
Wait a second, Dad. If you illustrate this like world without God, world with God, the reason if you take away Christianity and organized religion, and you just say like the concept of God, the problem becomes the God
up,
of the
Ricky.
gaps, right? The God of the gaps. It's
No.
impossible to believe in a world where these gaps are filled in by whatever atheists fill them in with. There has to be God there to fill in.
Yeah,
the
I don't
gaps.
think you understand how God of the Gaps is
That's
used.
not
but, like,
what a God of
Oh,
the
okay.
is.
I thought that's how it works.
Well, you
How
can
does
say
it
it
God
work?
of the
in a
gaps
certain way.
is an
You
argument,
can-
a form of argument. It's a form of argument from ignorance, an invalid form of argumentation, where somebody inserts God as an explanation into only the places where there isn't already an explanation.
Yeah,
Well,
which is
let me
funny
just ask-
because
That is
that's
what
what
I was
atheists
referencing.
project upon us.
Let me just ask-
Atheists do that.
Let me just ask
Atheists
Leo a
don't do that
question.
because
Atheists are the ones that
atheists
say, I
don't
don't
believe
know.
that God
Atheists are the ones that
exists,
say,
and
I
so
don't know what
wouldn't
the solution
posit God
is.
as an explanation since they think
Yeah.
there isn't one.
No, they deposit anything else. Oh, evolution, singularity, this random wall up
All
here.
things that have been directly observed to exist
Like
in
you
reality,
tried to
yeah,
do it.
we
You tried to
posit
do
the
it,
things
Leo.
that we can
You
observe
You
and
do it.
measure.
You said it's
That's
natural.
exactly what we do.
You said
That's
whatever
not
is
the gap.
natural is not supernatural. Whatever exists in the universe is not supernatural
I
to
don't
you.
know
You
what you're
even
talking
deposited it yourself.
I have no
You
idea
use
what you're
anything
talking
in the
about
world
right
to try to make your arguments.
If
real.
that's
I
the
guess
God of the
Minar
gaps,
is debating some
You're the
concept
god of the
of
gaps. I've never
Taco-
seen anyone use God of the gaps more than atheists. Is all my
Isn't
argument.
Taco's
is.
using the substrate of the gaps? Isn't that what he's
Yeah.
saying?
Well, I don't know what substrate is supposed to mean here. That's not how I go about.
Bro, she's fucking
defending
hilarious,
in-
bro. She's
Minar.
hilarious, bro. What the
You
fuck?
guys are have. No wonder atheists keep crushing you. You guys aren't thinking very hard.
Leo, can you? Let me just ask
Leo.
you this question, Leo.
He's talking
can
to you, Leo.
conceive intellectually? Can you conceive of a situation in which you find that you have a psychological blockage or a lack, like a confusion?
I like how Taco just
A
shut up.
lack
I'm
of
not sure.
understanding,
Wrong.
which
I've heard
can
the phrase
then-
psychological blockage get thrown around the last like 15 minutes. I'm just not sure
That comes
what
from
we're
the host.
referring to
That comes
there.
from the host.
So as I said, Minar, I'm just waiting for everybody to stop talking so I can.
Bro, we're proving you wrong. We're teaching you. We're educating.
No,
We're telling you
nobody's
you're
proving anything
psychologically
wrong.
blocked
You're just
because even when we
talking while
provide
I'm
you
waiting for my
evidence.
turn. You're
No,
spouting nonsense.
no, I'm telling you, even when we provide you evidence, you have to create a hypothetical universe so you can prove your
Says
point.
If you own insurance, you believe.
So you're
in
the
God.
psychologically
Thank
blocked.
you so much for the super chat, Freak.
Hey,
All
hey,
right,
basically
so now
what
that
I'm
it's
saying.
silent, I'm going to jump in and present my argument. So, the reason that I know your God doesn't exist is because I can conceive of at least one world where there's no gods, right? Just pointing to the scientific.
So what?
Now, what that means, premise one, if God exists, then he has to exist necessarily.
I can
right?
conceive
That's-
of you
that's
being
the
skinny.
Catholic-
Does that mean it will ever
Why are
happen?
you interrupting me?
It
I
will
don't
never
care.
happen.
I'm explaining my position.
I can
So,
conceive of you stopping
Minar,
eating
this
the
isn't your
donuts.
position. I don't care. So that represents
It
both
won't happen.
the-
I'm just saying it won't happen. I can conceive it.
all
It
right,
just-
all right. That represents both the Islamic and Catholic theology, right?
I actually think
Premise
there's a
two.
difference here. Manar is saying he can conceive.
All right, I gotta talk for a second. I just need like 2 minutes. I'm sorry. Premise 2. It's possible that
Wait, can you
God
do premise
doesn't
1 again? Minar interrupted too many times. I
Sure,
didn't hear
sure.
it.
Necessarily, if God exists, then he has to exist necessarily. That's the Catholic position and the Muslim position. It's possible, yeah, it is.
I'm cooked. All right, just keep going. I'm not even gonna try.
It's possible that God doesn't exist. I can conceptualize at least one world in which no gods exist and it's all physical processes. So, conclusion, therefore, God doesn't exist. All right, now you guys can go.
What? Are you kidding me? I can conceive of a world that Taco did not had eaten salad every single day for his life.
It's a very
Therefore,
interesting-
Taco eats salad every day for his life. What the fuck are you talking about? Are you mentally ill? This is your
Necessarily, if God exists, then God exists.
psychologically
necessarily.
blocked.
That just seems
You
to
are the
be-
definition of a psychology blockage.
I don't even know if that's
this is
talking
from
about-
So is a psychology block like a sewer
Leo,
block
this is from Joe
for Taco's
Schmidt's
brain?
recent paper that he's got up for peer review.
Bro, this is crazy.
I'm putting a
Hank is
substitution.
swapping Manar for
No,
Defreet.
Hank,
All right.
you're
All right,
scared.
let me
Hank,
put
you're
Defreet on the
scared,
screen.
Hank.
You're weak.
Manar.
You're
Keep wearing-
weak.
You're
Thank
scared.
you
You
so
won't even
much.
take off
You're
your
weak.
fedora.
Thank you so much.
It's
for the
off.
super
You're
chat.
weak.
I
I want the
greatly
teams to
appreciate
win.
that.
You're weak. You're mentally weak. I need the teams to win.
Is somebody beating Minar like
No,
half to
no,
death over there?
I saw a ghost. I saw
I am.
a ghost. Ah!
I am.
Did he
I
just,
am.
what did he just say?
I saw my
I
own
know.
reflection. I wasn't ready. In his room.
Freaking vampire. Vampire Minar.
Taco,
I
is
just
there
have-
any way
I
you
just
could
have-
like copy
I just have-
paste that argument into
I just
the
have
chat?
one point of clarity.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
one
yeah.
point of clarity, but I'll wait to make it. One clarification I'd like to make.
Go ahead.
Okay. I think that all of us should be able to say that we can conceive of, in other words, imagine that something which we sincerely believe is true is in fact
False.
caused by psychological blockage or a lack of information or a lack of understanding. Without that, I just don't see how you can have a conversation.
Obviously.
Okay, you say obviously. Leo, do you say obviously?
I need clarification on the terms. I don't know what a psychological blockage is. There's a lot of different ways I could interpret that. I'm not sure what specifically.
Okay,
Poor guy
okay,
wasn't
so
ready.
you're a
He wasn't
proponent
watching.
of evolution, right?
I accept evolutionary theory. Yes.
Okay, you don't have to like pretend everyone's playing tricks on you all the time, but like okay,
I'm not. I just
so you
said-
broadly
said a
agree
thing
with
that
like
seems to
what
be in
the
line with what
common
you
sense
asked.
of understanding of evolution is. Do you not concede that there are usually Christians, but also Muslims who, let's say, for psychological reasons, resist that?
Well, I'm sure
It's
there
not
are some
really.
that
They're not
resist it
really
for
sincerely
psychological
following
reasons.
it. They're conflicted between their understanding of what the Bible has to say and this theory, right? So they're kind of resistant to the facts, right?
Yeah, I'm sure there's some people that don't accept evolution for some overarching psychological reasons.
Right,
likely
they
related
might
to
just-
maintenance of some preconceived ideal that they have.
Okay, so that's what I mean by psychological blockage.
Yeah, so you just mean like overarching factors that affect the way that you think.
Psychological factors.
Because I think everybody has those. I mean, everybody's got biases. Everybody interprets things from their perspective and according to their priors.
Yes, but we would say that the ideal is if I say it's 4:26 p.m. Eastern time, that you would just say, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
right? That like, but there may be someone who's has a reason like not to want it to be 4:26 p.m. Eastern time because that's when they're like gonna get executed or something, right? Okay, and they might say, I don't know about that. Okay, that's a psychological reason, but like, do you not understand what I'm saying? Yes, to varying degrees, people have psychological. We're psychological persons, right? So sometimes people can have bigger or smaller blockages, but the ideal is that we just go based on evidence, and when the evidence becomes compelling to us, we say, yeah, like this is true or appears to be more true than anything else. That's what a psychological blockage is. I don't think it's very difficult to understand.
Ben, I mean, I think you're right, and it's really
So
all you have to
dissonance.
do is ask any old Christian if they think that they're saved, and probably half of them won't even know if they're saved or not yet.
Well, no, a super easy example is if you're in the IDF right now and you've grown up with Zionist propaganda and you've got a gun in your hands and you're going into Gaza, you're probably going to have a psychological blockage from saying maybe this whole thing is wrong. Because you're not going to want to betray everything, right? Your family, right? You're going to have a psychological blockage because you don't want it to be wrong, right? Isn't that fairly simple?
Sure.
Leo, can you concede like that? That's like,
I mean,
obvious
sure.
thing?
I don't know if I would use the terminology psychological blockage, but I get the idea,
Okay.
underlying concept.
Okay, so you concede it. Hank concedes it. DeFreak, I think, concedes it. But what about breakfast tacos? He doesn't concede that?
I don't know. You'd have to
Cognitive
ask him.
dissonance exists.
Can it exist for you?
Yeah, it exists for everybody. It's a thing.
So can it exist for you?
Yeah, why wouldn't it be able to?
Okay, so you might have a psychological blockage.
I mean,
No,
I guess that's logically
You
possible.
can conceive of it. You can conceive of it.
Ben,
Yeah.
Ben, you
I'm
missed
not
the
saying
point.
it's logically possible and probably metaphysically possible in regards to this topic.
Probably metaphysically
Might
possible.
even
but you're wrong about
might even
something?
be nomologically
Probably.
possible. I'm not sure if it's
Probably metaphysically possible.
I'm not sure if it's
Isn't that a bit
nomologically
ridiculous?
possible though. In this, I mean, I guess there could be
So- What?
I guess there could be an alternative nomologically possible world where I have a psychological blockage on this issue.
Yes, there would be.
Ben,
would
you
know
missed the
whether there
checkmate.
could be.
Ben, the checkmate was when he said cognitive doesn't exist. Ask if it exists as an object in the universe.
There's no checkmate, Hank. He's just asking if I could have cognitive dissonance.
Hank, that's not a
Like
fucking
to-
checkmate.
And you won't really actually just say yes.
Oh,
You're like,
then your dad can go in
maybe.
circles for the next 3 hours.
On this
What about
issue
the
specifically,
you are an asshole.
so on this
That's the
issue
diagnosis.
specifically,
Who cares
I'm
whether God
saying-
exists? You're just an asshole.
what I'm saying, Ben, is that from your position, which I am taking for the purposes of this conversation,
Mhm.
the necessary being that you claim, God, exists by its own nature and has to exist in all possible worlds.
You get like I have to stop
Let
you
me
because
talk.
God is
This-
not a being. So I agree with you. Okay, so like you keep telling me what I believe.
Then
I
and
there's-
you
I
don't,
don't know what
I
you're
like it's
referring to.
incorrectly phrased.
So
but
necessary.
if you want to just be
being-
disrespectful of Catholicism and then say that's what you believe, that's called straw manning, and that's
So-
also what assholes
Well,
do.
your
At the end of
Does
the
a
position would be
necessary
incoherent.
being exist in all possible worlds, Ben?
What's that?
Does a necessary being exist in all possible worlds?
No, a being is incorrect.
Necessary
No.
being
Your view is
is the
incoherent.
philosophical terminology for metaphysical grounding. If you don't know what we're talking about, that's fine to say, and we can move on to the next topic.
Yeah, attack the premise, Jeffrey. Go ahead.
God is
Walk
not
these.
a being. I like that is
Do
basic.
you know what a
Catholicism.
necessary being is?
I don't think there's such a thing as a necessary being.
You
but
don't
there is-
understand the philosophy.
It's literally
Ben,
what the Catholic Church claims is that
Find it.
God
Find
is
it for
a
me. Find
necessary
it for me.
being.
Find it where God is described as a being, and I will grant you that.
Ben, you don't understand philosophy.
Well,
You
Find
need
it.
to go
Find
take
it.
a
Find
class.
it anywhere.
God's
in
referred
I'll
to.
find it
Ben,
for you, but you don't.
God's
you need to take a
referred
class.
to as a
That should
person,
be easy. You
right?
got 2,000 years to draw from.
God's
Use the
referred to as a
goddamn
person,
internet.
right?
Find
God's
me
referred to as a
one
person, right?
sentence that reflects that.
God's referred to as a person, right?
So, does Thomas Aquinas not
No,
call
God
God
is
the
not referred
necessary
to as
being?
a person.
Does Thomas Aquinas not
what?
call
Find me
God
the quote.
necessary
Find me
being?
the quote.
I've got a page for you. I'm gonna pay for you.
It's not referred to as he and him and his and that
God
he's
is three
got
persons in
thoughts
one
and
nature. Yeah, Leo,
feelings.
come on, Leo, come on.
Yeah, but God has emotions and God can think and God
not
knows
exactly,
things.
not
God is
exactly.
self-aware. God has
Yes,
awareness. God has a will.
First
Yeah, God
cause.
is
yes.
a person.
Okay, wait,
These
hold
are
on, Dad,
Not
characters
a
Dad.
person.
of
Hold on,
personhood.
guys. Atheists. Okay, Dad, I looked it up. It's ChatGPT, but St. Thomas Aquinas in the Summa Theologia gives the third way argument for God's existence, in which he describes God as a being that must exist by necessity, not cause, not contingent, but whose non-existence
Can you
is
send it to me?
impossible. Ens necessarium in Latin. Yeah, sure.
Hey, Tacos, I want to address the premise if I could real quick. Okay, so God can actually conceive a world without him in it, but random quanto fieldo mando can't conceive anything. God wins.
I don't. What does
All
that
right,
mean?
good
There
talk,
you go.
Jeffrey. Thank you for your input. That was very educated.
Thank you, the freak. Thank you. That's a strong theist.
Okay,
Bernard.
so if we look at this in Latin, which we're going to concede that Thomas Aquinas did not write in English, the term used is ens necessarium, right? And I think that breakfast tacos, you would recognize that is like the traditional language. I'm not sure
If
what
it-
it is in Greek,
If it exists by necessity, it would have
but there
to
is
exist in all
no,
possible worlds.
but there is no article there. It's not ens necessarium. It's necessary being.
This is just the philosophical terminology. It's the metaphysical grounding that falls into. It's so simple.
I think the language is used here, but it is not used when you translate
right.
to English as a necessary
All
being.
right,
It
all right.
doesn't
So
work.
Hank, thank you so much for the super chat. He submitted the plato.stanford.edu/entry/god.
Yeah, sure. Be
just
happy to do that.
Read this, then come back to class. Take a
Sure.
break for now.
Happy to do that. I could
Are you
be
muting
wrong.
him, Hank, for 5 minutes with that? Or are you just telling him-
Absolutely.
Okay.
He's almost something he doesn't know about.
I'll send him the link. I'll send him.
All
I'll
right,
send
all
him the
right,
link.
all right. Well, sorry, Ben. I'm starting the timer right now. And then I just moved somebody else. So, what do you guys want to talk about? We can come back to this here in a few minutes.
Now we could keep talking about it now. It's just clear that God necessarily being semantics. It's a pretty basic thing to philosophy. Ben didn't understand it because he doesn't read enough. So I just make sure he actually goes and reads it. That's the only way I could think of to make sure he actually understands what he's talking about. He's going around in circles because he doesn't understand what the heck he's talking about.
And that's okay. I figured that was the case when we got further into that because he had described a necessary being previously, and then I figured today he didn't understand what he was talking about, which is fine. It's confusing if you're not familiar with the terminology. I get it.
It makes theists look stupider because they don't do their homework.
Yeah,
I'm not calling you. Ben,
Hey.
hey, I'm not calling you stupid, Ben. I'm just saying that it's just very dense material. Ben, that's not what I'm saying.
I was gonna say, Ben
it's
is
not,
the only.
it's not that dense. I mean, it's pretty simple.
Oh,
God
Ben is the
an
highest
entity.
IQ.
God is an entity possessing personhood. God is a person. Now, person doesn't mean human. Person means person, something with a will, with self-awareness, that usually engages in various forms of normative or evaluative thinking, like moral reasoning. God does all of these things. God is a person, an entity that exists. To say God is existence makes no sense. That is literally just an incoherent statement.
No, it's coherent.
Existence is not a property or a predicate of objects. It doesn't make sense to say that God would be something like that or something else. It's just a semantically incoherent statement to make. So yes,
there's a
God
context
is
where
a being. God exists. God is a person. This is how the Catholic Church, this is how almost all of classical Western theism sees God. As an
there's a
entity that
context where it
exists,
makes sense.
generally necessarily, which as
No,
Taka
you're
was
wrong
pointed out,
about
needs
that.
to exist in every possible world, and that he is a person. He possesses personhood.
So Leo, there's a context where it makes perfect sense. So if you're an idealist, you're in the mind of God. There you go. Problem solved.
But most classical Western theists aren't idealists.
Most isn't all. There you go. You lose.
But most is still most. There's
Most
a reason
isn't
why
all, you
most
lose.
aren't idealists.
You are on the
Most
panel.
people
You are
aren't
just
idealists.
You are just a disembodied mind, Minar. We can still
Yes,
hear you.
he
And
lacks object
Lava
permanence.
and Amir,
Minar
you
lacks
guys are
object
disembodied
permanence.
minds too.
Hello, the freak. You there?
Yeah, I'm here. Is that a mirror?
Yes, yes.
All right. Well, whenever Tacos
And
is
Will,
ready,
you're
I'm
a
ready.
disembodied mind too. It's about to get crazy. You guys ready for this?
Yes.
The Freak versus Amir. Round 1. Fight!
Well, there's 10 people on the panel, so I think this is better if we have an open panel discussion rather than do a bloodbath right now, just because of the number of people that are here. But if it
I'd win.
diminishes
We can always
some, we
come
can
back.
do a bloodbath here in a little bit, right?
Yeah. I don't mind going into the background and coming back, because I know me and Amir were going at it a little bit, and he wants to kind of do the debate thing. So, whatever you think, Taco.
Yeah, if you guys want to just hang out for a little bit, that's fine. Do you want me to pull it off the panel, or do you want to keep talking?
If someone else wants the panel, I'll drop down and I can.
Yeah. Let me back on, Ben. What the?
All right.
You are on. We just
Taco.
can't see you, thankfully.
Yeah, but man, we
wanna
gotta.
be back.
If Grace wasn't here, man, the whole panel would have been ruined without me. I swear to God.
Fail. No. That's
Hey,
damn
Will,
wrong.
can you wave at the
What
camera?
are you have to help me? I'm not contributing much.
Grace,
They're
Grace,
not
they
using
would've-
Can you wave at
girl
the camera?
language. I need
Grace,
girl
if you weren't
language.
here,
Can
you
you
would
wave
have
at
been.
I can
It
see
would have been
you.
a
Can you
bunch
wave
of
at the camera,
boomers.
Will? Will in the back, can you wave at the camera?
Will in the back.
Cool. Just making sure you're a real person and not a video.
How's it going, Will in the back?
Grace,
Yeah.
Grace, I'll tell you what happened here. Taco is so dense
Oh,
in his
Jesus
brain,
Christ.
he actually
Oh my God.
believes that even
Jesus
that the
fucking
reason we don't believe that there
Your brain
we
is
can't-
not dense.
that the his
Smooth as
argument
fuck, galaxy brain.
Grace, he believes his arguments are genius and that we are forced to believe in them, and the reason we don't believe in them is because we have the psychological blockage, quote unquote, womanese for you.
Welcome
And
back, man. You're unmuted.
Clearly, that's mental illness,
Well, I asked a question. And he just said it was a psychological blockage.
Yeah,
What was your question that you asked? I
he's
can't remember.
mentally ill.
If we say that there's a substrate, why would the substrate make physical material? Why would it make something out of nothing?
I think on his
That's
view,
a
the
good
substrate
question.
doesn't make things or have a will. These are just things that result from its evolution through time.
Okay, but
Hey,
why
real
would
quick,
it have
hey.
an evolution through time? Why?
Because it does. There is no why. That's just the way the world is.
Okay, so
At
it's
least
just
on my
an
view.
assertion.
Now I'm talking from
It's
my
just
view.
an assertion.
Well, no, it's brutally contingent. Quantum
He's just
fields do
saying
what they
this
do
substrate
because.
exists this way, and if you don't believe that, then you have a psychological problem. Well, I'm just
Well,
asking
he would
you
say
why.
it's because
When you
it's
say
necessary.
why, are
Tacos
you-
would say it's because it's necessary, but I don't think that. I would say that that's just the way they are. There is no further explanation because there is nothing further there to do the explaining. Quantum fields are fundamental. They are well-founded features of reality. They are not given or constructed or constituted in terms of anything else. And so there is nothing else through which you could find reasons for why they are the way that they are. They are most literally just that way. And we can discover the way. But there's no reasons why they are. On my view. But like I said, I think Tacos would say it does it because it's necessary. It's necessary that it does those things. Correct me if I'm wrong, Tacos. I don't want to speak.
What makes
the
it do
universal
things?
quantum field's a necessary being, but that has nothing to do with.
Yeah, but he
this
has zero
argument that
evidence.
that has
Look,
nothing
look,
to-
Yeah.
look, he has zero evidence it's the necessary being. He just assumes it is.
Minar, this is where the epistemic
Zero
parity,
evidence.
Minar, this is where the epistemic parity comes into play, or the metaphysical parity, or whatever. It's
Grace,
called.
his evidence is he can speak the
so-
words
so
quantum
Minar,
entanglement.
Minar,
That's what his
Minar.
evidence is. That actually is the necessary. I swear
No,
he has
Minar,
zero
Minar,
knowledge
Minar,
on this.
Minar,
It
Minar,
just
listen
sounds like
for
a
a second.
different word for God.
This is the
Yeah,
parity.
exactly.
No.
That's what I told you. They are psychologically blocked.
Oh
They
my-
just create
Oh,
anything
somebody
except
mute
God.
Minar for 5 minutes so I can talk.
Bro, why would you want to mute me? Whoever kicked me out
Please,
is the
somebody mute Minar for
loser
5
scared of
minutes so I can
blockbathing
talk.
me.
I have
Go ahead,
two
talk.
arguments
Speak.
to
Let's
read
hear
here.
this amazing non-psychologically blocked conversation. Go ahead, hear it out. I want to hear Grace. Why do I have to hear the fucking fedora wearer?
I won't fix you. Grace,
I don't want to listen to the fedora guy. I don't want to hear that, the guy with the donut in his mouth. I don't want to listen to you. Maybe if you put down the muffin. And the other guy has a fucking pipe in his mouth. Definitely not gonna hear that one out. Let's hear Will. Will disappeared. God
Hey,
bless.
Amir,
Yeah,
can you
Grace,
wave
go
at the
ahead.
camera?
Grace.
Cool.
Go ahead, Grace.
Hello.
Hey,
Why is Amir in the bathroom? The fuck,
It's my office. It's my office. You look like you're in basement.
bro? What? Hey, hey,
Yes,
yes,
why
I
do you
can
have
show you
rouge
your
on?
ceiling.
Manar, he's
What?
bigger than you. He's
I
got
Manar
bigger
would
I
urinate
can't-
haircut
there.
than
I
you.
can't-
Manar would urinate there. I think we all
He's
agree with that.
he's in a more furnished
You're a
building than
disembodied
you.
mind.
He's also a
can't-
little bulkier than you, to
Brown
be
boy
honest.
versus
Manar.
brown
think
boy.
he
I
can
can't.
have-
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Who wants to do a handstand
Stevie!
push-up contest?
I mean, he
Let's
looks
see it.
pretty built. Like it makes you look like kind of a noodle boy.
Let's do a handstand push-up
All right,
contest. Let's do
real
that.
fast. We got a big super chat. I need to thank Steve. Steve, thank you so much for the super chat. That's greatly appreciated. He said the irony of atheists claiming their made-up worldview is true when even murder being
Hey,
wrong
guys.
can't be proven true. It's atheists cope attacking religion. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for your super chat.
Thank you,
I
Steve.
appreciate you being a part of the
Hey,
community.
I think
Hang
Amir
on,
wants to talk about the color of my basement, my walls.
This guy just donated $10. He's been talking in live chats. He's a new person.
He looks like
on
an
the
interior designer.
Come on, dude. He's been in
You
the
spent
audience
$10
listening
just
for a
to
few
say
days,
that?
and I appreciate
Goddamn.
it. I just want to say thank you. Welcome to the community. I do appreciate that.
I think
Absolutely.
what Steve is saying is that atheists claim objective truths and then say that morality is subjective when then morality would have to be objective if there are a possibility of objective truths, because morality has to do with truth.
This is the JL point.
Well, no, it
Wait,
doesn't.
can we all concede?
Morality is normative. It has to do with evaluations.
If
of
we say
actions
there's
and
an
behaviors.
uncaused cause, can we all agree? Since I think we should have some grounds to. I agree. There must be an uncaused cause,
Yes, I agree.
right? So
You're right.
philosophically, we can all
It
agree.
depends on what you mean by
that there
that.
must be an uncaused cause in order to get here.
I mean, I wouldn't use that language to describe the foundation of my reality, but the general.
Okay, and I
concept,
actually think
I would
breakfast
agree
tacos
that there
trees.
is some sort of.
There would be
something
infinite
fundamental
regression if
reality.
there wasn't, right?
Well, no, it wouldn't.
Why not? But because if everything is caused, there has to be some place it starts. Like if you're shuffling cards forever, you have to start at some
You
point.
could have an infinite chain of causes. There's nothing logically contradictory about an
Incorrect, Leo.
infinite chain of causes.
Incorrect.
I mean, I don't think
How
that's,
would you
that's what
start an
exists. But there's
infinitely
nothing
No, but
logically
he's right.
contradictory
He's
about
right.
it.
Yeah.
For example, if you think about it, like they birth each other, they can do that for infinity. Yeah. Like Nirvana.
Think about a chain of dominoes knocking each other over, and the chain
Like
of
Nirvana
dominoes
is
infinite.
I'm
infinite.
with them here.
Each
I'm
domino
with them.
causes the
Point.
domino ahead of it to
There's a
fall,
beginning.
and was caused to fall by the domino behind it.
You
and it's
can't
just
have a
been doing
line that
forever.
has no beginning. You can't
Again,
have a
I'm not saying that this is what I believe.
No, but
It's
he's
not,
right.
it's entirely
Infinity
logically possible.
in terms of existing forever, because their numbers will keep increasing. That's possible. But infinity, that all these objects exist at one space and time, all together in the same time, that's impossible. That infinity is impossible. But that they
wait.
exist
You
forever.
can have
for
an
example.
infinite negative chain of causes. How?
What
So
do you
if
mean
they
a
birth
negative?
each other, you
I'm
could have.
proceeding like a negative timeline. You can conceive of negative infinity and positive infinity, although it's tough to.
Did you
as
not?
numbers,
Why did
as
can you
quantities,
repeat back to me
you
what I
can't-
said about dominoes, Ben? I want to make
It's the
sure that
Kalam
you're actually
argument.
like
It's the
listening to what I'm
Kalam
saying,
argument.
following what I'm saying. Can you? Yes, I know that. I'm well aware of that. Can you repeat back to me what I said about dominoes?
Yeah, you
a
said
couple
you can
minutes
have
ago?
an infinite number of dominoes with no beginning. That's not true.
Mhm.
Well,
Yep.
you couldn't get to.
Yeah,
you
you
couldn't
can.
get to
What's
the
the
domino
logical
that's falling
contradiction?
now. That way. How?
Yeah, you could. If you were at the domino that's currently the one falling,
Yeah,
yes,
but-
of course you could.
yeah,
put
but
it.
How
which
would
one's
you
the
get there?
original?
How would you get there if it's an infinite
Wait,
number?
wouldn't the problem be
What do
that
you mean by
who pushed
get
the
there?
first
I don't know what
domino
you mean
to
by
create
get
the
there.
reaction?
Yeah.
There
Yeah,
is
but
no first
how
domino.
do you know that?
There's an
Then
infinite.
Well, how would
infinite
the first
chain
one
of
fall if
dominoes.
there is never a first one?
How would the first?
No,
how would
no,
the
there can
first
be an
one
infinite
fall?
chain of
That's all
dominoes,
it-
and
How would
all
the
of them are
first one-
falling,
how
and
would the
each one
first-
that falls was caused to fall by the one behind it, and will cause the one ahead of it to fall.
But
This
how
is an
would the
infinite
first
causal
one
chain.
fall?
Again, I'm not saying that I think this
How
is
can
something
an
worth
infinite
believing.
causal
I'm making
change-
I am not making a profound
How is that
statement at all.
profound?
And I'm certainly not
An
making any
infinite
statement that
causal
anybody in
change started
trans
without a
finite
cause.
arithmetic would
How is that
disagree
not
with
a?
when I say that this is an entirely
All right,
logically
let me
possible,
switch it. Let me switch. You know how the
state of
Buddhists,
affairs.
some Buddhists say the Earth is on a turtle, which is on another turtle, which is on another turtle. Wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be
turtles all
something
the way
that you
down.
would
I know where you're
mock?
going.
Because okay, so
I
you
think
think it's
it's
silly
yeah.
when it's within a religious framework, but like you defend it.
But
when
there
If
being
you call,
an infinite
if you
stack of
call the
turtles, is
turtles
logically
quantum
possible.
entanglement, he would be cool with it.
yeah, if you said Buddhism is atheism, then it's like, oh, it's perfectly logical.
Yeah, just change the name of
Right?
the turtle.
Because- so which shows that you have a psychological investment.
The fuck was that,
against
Grace?
Real
religion.
fast. But Will has been super
No, I
silent
don't.
and patient this whole time. We need to involve him in this conversation. What are your thoughts on this,
Yeah.
Will?
I can't wait to hear what Will has to say about this convo.
Don't put him down. Let him talk.
Let me guess. Exactly like Leo. Not racism here. I'm not being
right, somebody
racist.
mute Manar,
No
let's go.
racism. I'm not being racist.
You don't need to get paid.
They just
You
look
mute the
alike.
fucking guy.
They look like cousins.
They do.
Is that racist? I'm sorry. I'm not being racist, bro. I didn't say you guys look blood or nothing.
All right, so what's up, Will? What are you thinking?
I'm thinking I agree with I don't know.
Thank you, Will. Yeah,
My thoughts exactly, Will.
Gotcha. Well, we
Waited to
appreciate
hear
you,
what he had
Will.
to
Thank
say.
you so much for joining in.
Wait, can somebody mute Will? With in the chat, Will. So this guy, nobody can understand or even fathom what he just said. He will never get and booted out of the chat. One of the smartest, best debaters on earth. I challenge any human being in front of me. Like, Leo.
Real fast. Is this Bubba
Leo
from earlier?
considers himself
in the
a human
back?
being. Maybe he considers himself
You
a
got
furry.
heart. That's all.
Is this the same Bubba from earlier that I was talking to in the back?
That's crazy.
Bubba?
They'll mute me. That's disgusting. But
Bubba,
they will mute
can you
that
hear me?
guy.
Okay, I'll just leave it for now. I'll move me back on, or the freak if he wants back on. But actually, we could do this. We could get some animations going. Actually, no, we should leave somebody at top.
Nobody wants to see you that red bathing suit. Nobody wants to see you performing the YMCA at 400 pounds. What the fuck is wrong with you, bro?
I thought you weren't swearing anymore.
I'm sorry, you're right. I'm reformed. Can I ask you a question? Do you super glue the fedora on? Like, well, how does that happen? Like,
That's not even what he necessarily looks like.
Are you sure? I feel like this is exactly who he is. Like, his personality is a fedora. He's 300 pounds. He eats donuts all day long while he's sitting here.
I just want to make a point.
I'm like 700 pounds, Manar. Thank you very much. I appreciate you saying I'm that thin.
I just want to make a point that, like, whatever you want to say, okay, there is a philosophical school
Mushroom
that is Catholic, which says, like, I'll read this. It's an AI.
Sponge,
the
come
idea
debate
that
me.
God is being itself suggests that God is not just a being among other beings, but rather the very source and ground of all existence. This concept, prominent in Augustinian and Thomistic thought, emphasizes God's self-existence and aseity, meaning God's existence is not contingent on anything else. God is seen as the act of existing itself, not a being that possesses existence. And it goes into details. Okay, so that is a philosophical position. And if you keep saying Catholics, and that is like the mainstream theological position.
There's a difference.
No, it's a philosophical position. Well, I don't
that
know.
guy Catholic?
It's not depend on revelation, so it's not a theological position. But it is tenable philosophically, and to characterize Catholics as people who believe in a being is incorrect. It's not the Catholic position. So when you do that, I'm right to correct you and say, like, that's and this whole, like, if God exists thing is not comprehensible within the Catholic worldview.
The issue there, the reason that's incoherent is because existence isn't a predicate, right? It's not something that gets applied. It's part of the nature of the thing, right? And so that is theology. That's assuming that God exists outside of everything that we know.
Predicate.
And then
Existence is
and then,
not
and then
predicate.
is avoiding the philosophical implications of existence. That is theology. That's operating from a totally different world than what we live in.
Okay,
Isn't
so
that guy
you're
a
saying
Catholic?
theology by nature is wrong.
No. I said theology is different than philosophy.
No, you didn't say that. You said
Yeah, I did.
No, you did.
Theology
No, you
assumes that
didn't,
God exists
motherfucker.
and
No.
reasons around it.
No. You said that's theology, and that doesn't have
You
anything to do with the
motherfucker,
world in
you.
which we
Well, I'm
live.
talking about
That's
the claim
what you
that you
said.
I'm talking
and you
about the
can
claim
now
that
try
you
to
made
candy
about
code
God
it,
not having
but that's
being.
what
About
you
not.
said.
I'm making the claim that, or I'm making the claim in regards to the claim that you made about the God thing not having being.
I'm not. I'm saying these constructions
You're
are
saying it doesn't
incorrect.
exist.
That's not what that's saying.
He
It
is who
literally
he
is.
Okay, then you're an idiot. Then Thomas Aquinas, you're smart. You can just walk into a fucking room with Thomas Aquinas and his erudition, probably the most educated person philosophically in history, and you could just hand wave him away. And you can laugh like this cocksucker down here too. You can
Oh,
just wave,
God.
You
hand
think
wave
Thomas
it away.
Aquinas
You
was
can just
better
hand
philosophically
wave away
educated than
2,000
David
years
Hume?
of philosophical and theological. You can just hand wave it away because it's just that easy. Bullshit.
Ben, is that guy a Catholic
Who?
who wrote that? The Thomas? Yeah.
Thomas
Is
Aquinas?
AI a
Yes, I
Catholic?
believe he was.
It just
No,
summarizes.
the philosopher, saint, whatever, that wrote
Is
that
he a
piece.
Catholic? Yes.
Thomas Aquinas, yes. Thomas Aquinas was a Catholic.
I couldn't tell if you were agreeing with him or disagreeing with him.
I agree with most of what Thomas Aquinas.
So now, Ben, the question you would want to ask the AI now is: does this mean that it exists in all possible worlds according to theology?
I don't know what that means, but I'm not trying to obfuscate. Does God
just
exist
ask
in
the
all
AI and it'll
possible?
tell you.
If you want to say, is God
You don't-
necessary being? Is God necessary? Yes, for any being. Yes.
Just ask the AI.
So then God
Yeah,
exists.
just
in all
ask
possible
the AI.
worlds.
Does this mean that God exists in all possible worlds according to the theology?
Are you so fat that you can't ask AI something?
Well,
Are
I
you
know what
literally
it's
your
gonna
fingers
say.
so fat that they can't type?
I know what it's going to say. You don't. That's why I'm telling you to ask it real fast.
Well, I know I'm not really like having an interview with AI. I just I'll
I
Google
get
it.
that.
I'll Google it. Okay, you want me to Google?
No,
what is
just
it?
in the thing from the AI. Or are you not on ChatGPT? Are you in Google?
It's just a good AI overview.
Oh,
That
Well,
okay,
goes.
yeah.
now that I remember, I've
So
never
you might
heard
wanna
Taco
is
say
this
anything
necessary
profound.
being
Grace,
and
why
then
don't you do that? You're better
Ever.
at this. You know how to talk
Or-
to robots.
What am I
You wanna
looking up?
ask, does this
Is
exist
God
in all possible
necessary
worlds?
in all worlds?
Yeah,
that what
According
in
to
regards the
Catholic,
theological
possible
claims that he
worlds.
just made.
AI was created.
Does God exist in
but
all?
you do this thing that's so lazy. You go theology is different than philosophy, but then you go we're debating worldviews, and then you just say, well, theology is not a legitimate worldview because it's theology. But like, okay, so then what atheism is? Then you're just saying atheism is right because it's atheism. It's so
Well, no,
lazy.
atheism isn't a
so
worldview.
lazy.
Atheist presuppositional apologetics is the only possible world, but that has nothing
Is
to
the
do
only
with the rest
possible
of what we're
world.
talking
You're
about.
such a liar. You're saying
Okay,
my
do
worldview
you
is
want the
superior to
answer?
your worldview, but then you
Really,
go,
Anna?
well,
Right, Grace?
that's because it's my worldview.
I want the answer.
In Catholicism,
Astrology, that's what you believe in.
God is necessary in all possible worlds in the modern philosophical sense. God is necessary in an even deeper metaphysical sense. He is the reason any possible world could exist at all.
Okay, sure. I
and
think I would
so-
agree with that.
So this is where my argument picks up. So necessarily, if God exists, he has to exist necessarily, right? So that's talking about him existing in all possible worlds.
Can't do the
And
F
then-
part. Can't do the F part, but go ahead.
Well, it's a conditional, right? So necessarily,
right, it's not conceivable. It's
So,
not
look,
conceivable.
Ben, this is I'm telling you what this means to me.
Okay, so I'm saying I don't
Ben
concede
doesn't
that
know
that's
what conditional
conceivable, but
means.
go ahead
I
and
get it,
babble
Ben.
your nonsense. Go ahead.
I'm explaining the argument. So necessarily, if by necessity, if God exists based on your position that he's a necessary being, he has to exist necessarily. So if the God exists in your view, it has to exist out of necessity. It is a necessary being. There's not another option. It can't be brute fact. It can't be infinite regress, right? Okay, so
Wrong.
it can't be brute
You
fact.
asked me
or
right.
infinite-
The answer is wrong. The whole construction you're doing is pulling it into something that's not consistent.
Could it be a brute fact or an infinite regress?
Could what be?
The God thing? Could it just be there with no explanation?
Let me clarify. Let me
be an
clarify
ex-
really quickly. Let me clarify really quickly. God is not a being that must exist. In Thomistic metaphysics, God is ipsum esse subsistens, subsistent being itself. He is not a being that is necessary to exist.
It's
No,
He
you're-
is
make any
subsistent
sense.
being
That's
itself.
It's just garbage. Just wave it away. Just hand wave 2,000 years of tradition on which the base. Why don't we go somewhere else and see how this plays out? Because you're not going to get. It's just an impasse. You're just.
But isn't
saying-
wait, hold on, Dad. Wait, hold on. Isn't that what Taco says the substrate is? Subsistent being itself.
Yes, but he denudes
No, it exists
God
though, right? It's
into
not
an impossible-
non-existent like God.
He's saying
It's
doesn't.
actually the same
He's
God
saying,
claim.
he's saying God is not a person. It's an it. That's all he's doing, and that doesn't make any sense. Renders
That's
it
not what I'm
incoherent.
saying at all.
But what
That's
I'm
not
saying
what I
is,
think that's
isn't
what
Because he has a
Taco
psychological problem, which obviously.
perhaps?
Let's talk about breakfast tacos, Dad. That's what we should talk about.
The psychological blockage.
Let's talk about
I
your
agree.
dad.
You have a problem.
Also, I did want to
that
point out
comes
it
from
is
your
entirely
family. You
possible
don't
to
wanna
believe
talk
that God
about
is like a brute fact.
Let's
Richard
talk about
Swinburne,
Leo's
one of the
dad.
world's
Like,
leading
let's go
like,
there.
Christian
Or we
theologians,
can go
believed
further
that,
into why
that
don't
God
you
was a
believe
brute
in
fact.
like Jesus
Well,
Christ,
I'm sure the
Son of God,
atheists
or the resurrection, something
I'm
in which
sure-
like these kind of ifs make sense.
I'm sure the atheists here would agree that whether you believe in religion or not
The
is
so-called
largely-
atheists, they're not atheists. They're angry at God.
but they would believe
They're
that it's
angry
largely
people.
due to your upbringing,
is-
right? All right.
This is very easy to explain, right? So once again, existence is not a predicate, right? So if you're saying God does not exist, that's fine. I agree God does not exist. But necessarily, if God exists, then he has to exist necessarily. That's both Catholic and Islamic theology.
He can't deny.
I don't know. I
himself.
can't speak for Islamics, but if you say
They claim
God
necessary being
is the
theology
ground
too.
of being, God.
They
is
claim
what
the
we
same
mean by
thing you do.
necessary being. That's true. But if you start saying the necessary being or a necessary being, then we part ways there.
I don't care. So
Right.
When-
I agree. You don't care about
all
being
I'm saying
respectful.
is that
That's
the
why you're an
Catholic
asshole.
theology is the same as yours.
asshole of assholes. That's what it say at the top here.
And so-
asshole of all assholes. Yes.
And then that world that
Polite
we
asshole.
the world that all of us here conceptualized
Well, that is how
earlier,
a general society sees them. So.
and then that,
Yeah.
that godless world that all of us
loser
conceptualized
asshole.
earlier would be a possibility where that God doesn't exist, right? Or no gods exist, right? Where it's just a physical creation.
Right
So,
now, you're making God
so in-
into a
in
being
my
among other
view-
beings, and like,
in-
go
in
ahead. do
my
that. I agree
view-
with you. I agree with you.
possible that God doesn't exist, right? Therefore,
Great.
God
Yes.
doesn't exist.
Right. You win. Okay. Can we move on to something
Yeah,
else?
yeah,
It's
absolutely.
boring. It's just boring.
Hold on.
You realize how
God-
logically weak that assertion is?
No,
I
it's very wrong.
I
This
can't-
is leading. This is a lead. Grace. This is the leading argument against necessary being philosophy.
You're such
This
an
came
idiot.
out-
That's like saying
Grace,
if
Grace,
somebody who's uneducated
this
says I
argument
can't
is like
conceive
6 months
I
old,
can't
maybe.
conceive of how
This is
DNA
a
works.
brand
Therefore,
new
DNA doesn't exist.
That
That
is
is such a
destroying-
retarded.
Exactly.
Grace,
That
you
is
do
why-
understand
retarded.
most
Why is Grace the
philosophers-
highest IQ in the whole debate today?
Grace,
You
you,
can't
you do
conceptualize
realize
something
most
doesn't mean
atheists
it
are
doesn't
philosophers, or
exist.
most philosophers are atheists,
Because
right?
you can't conceptualize something doesn't
Can
necessarily.
we just move to
imply-
a different? Can we just move to a different category and then maybe go back here?
Oh no. It is
Can I ask
don't
Taco a
exist
question?
for-
Can I
for
ask
many
Taco a
other
question?
reasons.
Just a question. Let's say I have a problem with my perception. Let's say I see what's in front of me, but I see it differently, like a colorblind
You
person.
do. It's the rose tinted glasses you're
Yeah,
wearing
yeah.
that Islam has put on.
Yeah. So, but let's say I actually perceive everything different than everybody, and I say the room is actually pink and it's actually a blue-walled room. Like, are you arguing that everyone else has to perceive what I'm perceiving, or they're wrong? Is that what you're basically saying? Like, can you believe that? That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah, he's saying you have. He can say that you have rose tinted glasses, but that He couldn't have.
I like how the
shit
question
tinted
was for
glasses.
tacos, and then Ben is
Why-
answering.
why?
That's
That's-
it's
because
so
because you
fucking
gotta
hilarious how that
explain
works.
everything to Taco because he's actually illogical. I don't think he has the ability to deduct anything.
Because of
I
course,
just presented a sound
he's
deductive
angry
argument from
at
No,
my
you
God.
didn't.
He's angry at God, and he has
Yeah, like a
psychological problem.
female.
Why wouldn't you want rose-colored glasses if it makes the world more beautiful? And maybe those are corrective lenses.
Because
Maybe
I want
those
to
are
see the
corrective
world for what
lenses,
it is.
and they're correcting your sinfulness.
Yeah,
Hold
but
on a
you're
second. Hold on a second. All I know is
Oh, I don't
God
sin,
has
'cause
Jesus
sin
Christ.
is
Really,
not
Leo?
scripture.
Are you
And
sure when you do your
random
like
quantum
compulsive
field has
masturbating
nothing.
that it's not real, that you feel bad afterwards?
Ben, hold on a second. God
I
has
don't-
Jesus Christ
what?
in Scripture. The quantum field has nothing.
I can't conceive of this imagining voice that I just heard. I can't conceive of a face. That means this guy doesn't exist. It's just a random voice from the bush that I just heard.
Well,
Right?
it's the same thing. It's literally, we want to talk about it in Christian terms. You talk about your father. It is possible that there are people who don't know their father, who can't conceive of what he looks like.
Yeah.
Okay,
That means he
and then
doesn't exist.
they will say they don't. I met a guy yesterday who said my mother doesn't exist. Okay. It's like saying square circle. It's like saying square circle, but like
Ben-
he says, my mother doesn't exist.
Ben,
Okay.
my theory is his brother ate his donut. He told him no, the donut never existed, and from there on, he actually believed every one of those arguments after. that.
Psychological blockage.
I would wonder if any of you could reiterate the
Let's try
argument
with-
that
let's
Taco
try-
actually presented. I would be willing to bet
I blame the
$25.
communists, not the
Leo, you
Taco's
don't have
Can somebody
$25.
mute him?
We all
Not
know
not a
Somebody
single
mute
one
Leo.
of you three.
Oh, okay,
Not a
Leo,
single
send
one of
me
you three could
$25. I'll
reiterate the
reiterate it.
argument.
Send
Can
me
somebody
Tacos.
mute Leo?
Load it up
He's
on your
not going
Cash
to pay
App.
you any
Just do it- just
Atheists
do it
never
right now.
pay the bills.
Just do
Cheap
it right now.
bastards.
They're
He
liars.
said he donated to
Liar of
my channel.
liars.
Stop
Better-
trying to take the donations from my channel.
Somebody
God,
donate.
bother
I can't
reiterating
believe
them.
nobody's donating to the Thorpes. Like, are you guys crazy? Look at the content they're giving you guys. They're actually helping
They
you,
are
the Christian
donating.
conservative. Oh, they are? Okay, good. I'm the only one that's not
Donating
getting
to silence
donations.
me. Not great.
I'm the only one that's not getting donations. God damn it, guys, donate.
Okay, but I want to do something here with Leo.
Take your shirt
Okay,
off.
just like I think we've gone about as far as we can go with tacos. Leo, you were raised Catholic.
Wait a minute. Leo just made a fair point. He's saying that he's betting $25 to my channel that none of y'all can reiterate the argument. Can any of
And
y'all
Grace said she
actually
can.
Grace, can
Okay.
you reiterate the argument?
If
So
I
that
get
he
the
get
25.
this fat guy gets $25. Okay, fine. But now we're gonna have to see if
How
atheists.
about if
Now
Leo
we'll have
is
to see if
serious? How about
atheists
this?
are
How about
true
this?
to
If
their
Leo is
word.
serious, he does 10 to me, 5 to Monar, and 10 to you if you get it.
Karen, you're scared.
But you ain't getting.
I am
Atheists
not
will
worried yet.
never
He's not
follow
serious.
through
Oh,
on their
Monar got
promise.
muted
Hey,
again.
Karen is scared.
Monar said Monar got a 2-minute mute
Oh,
for being weak.
shit.
Go ahead,
Thank
Grace.
you so much,
You're
Karen.
to
pull-ups.
prove that atheists don't pay a dime. Go ahead.
Taco's argument was that he cannot conceive of a world where
Wrong.
he cannot conceive. Hold on, he
No,
cannot
you're already wrong.
conceive.
Hey, start
The
counting
minute
out
you
your
didn't
bills,
say
boy.
premise
Start
one,
counting
you were
your
wrong.
He cannot conceive.
What? She's already wrong.
Okay,
This is not the
I
Like
argument
three
that Taco
words.
gave.
Shut the
Would you
fuck
guys
up.
like to know what it
So
actually
to be,
is?
to be
Mention that
fair to
penny.
Leo,
Yeah, so I know it was false
Hey,
because she didn't
be
start with
quiet.
the
Let
word
her
that Taco's
try.
argument
wait.
started
To be
with.
fair, I did present a syllogism.
Yeah, I'm giving
That's
you
what
the
I'm
syllogism.
saying. That's what I was
Get
asking
ready
for.
with your 25
Reiterate
bucks.
the
Give her a minute. That
syllogism
would
that
be
Tacos gave.
Okay, Tacos cannot conceptualize a world that has a god. That's how he said it. A world with a god. Because he cannot
was part of what
if
I'm
you
saying.
cannot oh okay, wait, hold on. If you cannot conceptualize something, it doesn't exist. Tacos cannot conceptualize a world with a god. Therefore, God does not exist. That's his argument.
Nope. No, it wasn't. Let me tell you what it was. It was premise one, necessarily, if God exists, and he has to exist necessarily. Premise two, it's possible that God doesn't exist. Therefore, God doesn't exist. That was the argument I was referring to.
Well,
A
he said
syllogism.
also what
you know
I
what
said.
that is?
Yeah, but that wasn't the
25 bucks,
argument
bro.
that he
Let's
gave.
see
I
it.
was
Let's
referring
see
to
it.
the argument,
Let's
the
see it.
syllogism that
You
he
asked
has.
him what argument he was
That's-
making. I reiterated exactly an argument that he made, and you
Yeah.
said, "Oh, I was referencing a different one."
Well, you
You reiterated on, not the.
You just said an argument he was giving, not the.
Well, why don't
He's
you
made
let
No, I
Tacos?
said
Why
the
don't you let
argument.
him say was that?
I said the
Yeah, so
argument.
I've only actually presented one argument, and if you pull up the private chat, you scroll up like 2 scroll ups, or 3 scroll ups or so, and Menar's back. You'll see the argument in the side chat that I presented, the syllogistic form of that.
Yes, okay. So basically, what I said.
No,
if
it's the
something-
complete
If
opposite of what
something
you said.
exists, if something exists, you have to be able to conceive. You have to be able to have a concept of it existing.
That's not what it says at all.
Oh,
I know.
shit.
Oh, private chat.
Oh my god.
The problem is we keep referring to it as a syllogism, and I'm not trying to be mean here, like because I don't think it's like something bad or something. I don't think she knows what.
It's fine.
I know
that
what a
word means. I don't think
syllogism
she knows
is.
what a
You
syllogism
fucking
is.
condescending little prick.
Grace, nobody's
What is a
condescending.
syllogism?
If A,
He
What
wasn't
is
trying
a
to condescend.
syllogism?
Leo is very.
How do you
A
know?
is
How do you
true,
know?
then B
Because he
is
said
true,
he
then
wasn't.
AB.
So that doesn't. He's a liar. He also said he was going to give
Well,
$25
that's a
How do you
particular
believe
deductive rule of
You're
inference
to be a
that can.
condescending little prick.
Well, no, it's a deductive rule of inference that can be used in a syllogism, but a syllogism is an argument
Not
consisting of 2
necessarily.
premises and a conclusion.
No, you can have a
Yeah,
3-premise
that's
argument.
what they are.
Oh man,
No,
oh man.
that would be an
Menard just got
argument, but a
10-minute
syllogism
big
is
money.
generally
Thank you
given
so
as
much,
premise,
Karen Dave.
premise,
Aaron,
Menard.
stop being a bitch.
I got your 10-minute timer started. Thank you so much, Karen Dave. That's greatly appreciated.
An instance of a form of reasoning in which a conclusion is drawn from 2 given or assumed propositions, premises. Yes. So again, I was correct because I've actually
and I was
taken
correct when
courses
So
presenting
have
this
I.
argument.
logic.
The two propositions were
No, you didn't. No, you weren't.
if something exists, you have to be able to conceptualize it. I can't conceptualize God, therefore God doesn't exist. That's what he said.
He told you
That's
that
what he
wasn't
said.
the
That's what-
argument.
Yeah, you are right though that it's 2.
Real
That's the
fast,
thing
Karen
that he
Dave
said,
had an
maybe,
additional
but that
message for
wasn't-
Menard that didn't fit into the original one. He says, Menard, I want you to understand I can afford to do this because I have YouTube revenue and you don't.
Well, wait.
Adding
Can
insult
I
to
say
injury.
that like Leo is correct? Leo is correct that there are 2 premises in a syllogism. I agree. I was wrong about that. So, Leo, what I'm interested in is if we could just get away from this for a minute. You were raised Catholic on some level, correct?
I was. I don't know what you mean by on some.
Well,
level.
it doesn't
I was
necessarily mean you
raised
went to Catholic schools or you had devout parents. I like there are
No, I
varying
went to
degrees
public
which
school.
someone is part of a devout Catholic household. Like, but your parents or parent, someone was Catholic, correct? Okay, so you were raised,
Mhm.
you were baptized.
Me.
I don't know whether you went through the sacramental preparation and confirmation.
Like first
Were you
communion, all
confirmed?
that stuff.
Okay, so you were raised
Yes, I
Catholic
was.
in the normal sense. Okay, and when you made your
Like I said, I was.
confirmation, did you believe the words that you were saying? Okay, so you were a
Absolutely.
confirmed Catholic, and now you are claim to be an atheist,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
I am a naturalist.
Okay,
That is
sure.
correct.
And you're like what 10 years from that time that you made the. Okay, so in those 10 years,
About, yeah.
what is it that took you from being a confirmed Catholic to being what you are now?
A
Sure.
lot of things.
Sure.
It wasn't just like one
Sure.
thing. There were a multitude of things. Continuing to read further into
Mhm.
philosophy and into science, gaining a
Well, can you
significantly
get
better
other
and
than
more
saying like
thorough
I
understanding of the
learned
world
things? Can you be
and a
specific?
variety of
Because
scales.
I've been studying
Well, but
philosophy my whole life.
I
and
can't
don't-
because
right. Okay, go ahead.
yeah, and there's a lot of other people that have as well. But
Okay, but
for
what
them, it
can you
hasn't
name a
changed them.
philosopher
For me, it
that
has. Yeah, figuring out like figuring out that there are no good responses to the argument from
okay, the
evil.
problem of evil.
Figuring out that notion like things like the kalam cosmological argument fails, the teleological
Okay,
argument
Leo.
fails, the moral argument fails, the ontological argument fails. That none of these are good arguments. gaining a better understanding of the natural world and realizing you don't need to appeal to these
Leo.
entirely novel, fundamentally dissimilar ontologies to explain the ontology that we already know
Newman!
exists. These led me away from those kinds
Leo,
of assumptions.
You understand that like yelling something or gish galloping is actually
I'm
saying
not
something
yelling
in like
anything.
this super fast way and not actually like being specific, but just
I
saying,
don't think I was
I
speaking that
learned
quickly
more,
either.
I'm better. Makes you look like a fucking
I think I was
asshole, which is
relatively
what you are.
specific.
Which
Would
is
you
why
like me to
you
repeat
should
what I
really
said? Did you
consider
follow what I said?
your behavior
I don't think you followed
online,
what I said.
because your speech is going to be judged. It's going to be judged, and it's going to be judged harshly because
you know what you sound like? You sound like a kid saying Santa Claus is watching you, and you're not going to get any presents for Christmas this year. It's just going to be a stocking full of bull.
You were confirmed, and you believed the words that you said in confirmation. Can you name one? So you're saying, and you read yourself out of Catholicism, right? You're saying it's by reading and thinking, right? It's not because daddy beat you or
kind of
a priest touched you or your doggy died or any nonsense like that, right? Okay. So why do you say, of course not? There's tons of atheists who have those bullshit reasons.
Because I say, of course not, because like my mom didn't get with guys
okay,
that
so
like beat her
your
children.
parents did
She
split
would
up.
beat
Is
them,
that
and it
correct?
would have been really bad.
Okay, so I
yeah.
would say that's a big clue here, but you're saying that has nothing to do with it.
Right, you would say that because you don't understand anything about that subject.
Well, I would say that divorce usually causes a crisis in someone which can affect their faith, and then they transpose their resentment onto.
It didn't.
Okay, but that's just you asserting that.
My mom and father got divorced long before I was even old enough to understand what that was. So it didn't have an effect.
That's not true.
It couldn't have.
You don't think
Well,
parents
kind of is, yeah.
divorces can have an effect on someone later on? I'm not saying it did. I'm not saying that.
If they're old
I just want to say, Ben, you might have been right about the $25 super chat.
Yeah, no, Karen, that's what he did. I started like getting into specifics, like figuring out all these arguments were kind of just shitty, just a bunch of slop. That moved me away from Catholicism. Realizing that I don't need to appeal to an immortal wizard.
Okay, so
to explain why the universe
your formation
exists.
in Catholicism told you that God is an immortal wizard.
Well, that would just be what God is.
Immortal wizard. Okay.
In class,
that's
God can't die. God's eternal. Is God eternal? God's eternal.
What's
right?
a
God
wizard?
never
What's a
stops.
wizard?
He
What's
never
a wizard?
not existed.
Shut the fuck up, Leo. You're acting like a man.
We got to get there, and you got to just hold up there, Ben.
No, you
hold the brakes, Ben.
Well, if we're talking about,
you're going to be
so, I mean, God is immortal. God is immortal, is he not?
Being disrespectful. It doesn't help you in any
Leo,
way.
God is immortal, right?
You believe in
wizard is not
you
an
follow
eternal
studies,
being,
right?
you idiot.
Natural science studies. Okay, so did you know that children of divorce are 75% more likely to become atheistic or nuns, and especially Catholic children of divorce? Because divorce,
I would doubt that. I bet if I Googled that right now,
you'll bet
it,
but you won't pay up when you make your bet, will you?
Divorce is
liar.
Shame.
You're a liar. You're a shameful liar.
Divorce is especially shamed.
Wait. Before you look it up, why don't you make a bet now before you look it up? Because you're never going to pay when you're wrong. And you're never...
go ahead and bet. I
was wrong. You never will admit when you're wrong. It's a sign of someone who is intellectually weak.
Are you going to set your camp up in the Holy Land and set up the idol of abomination?
I have the study right here. I bet you like $1,000.
Are you going to be defeated without...
Are you going to... So you have the study. Are you going to
want to bet me
or just say that you have it?
Oh, I thought you would bet me,
I want to see the study.
I thought you would bet
me
because you thought
Leo.
I was
You're obviously
out of my
wrong.
ass, right?
Can you concede that you're wrong?
I never said that.
You said I'm going to look that up, and I.
When people say, "Well, I bet X, Y, and Z," you think that when people like in your everyday life say, "Oh, Oh, John's late for work again. I'll bet he caught up at Sarah's house this morning. When people talk like that, do you think that they're literally saying I will literally bet money, or do you think that they're making some sort of statement about their epistemic stance with respect to why something is the way that it is?
He already looked it up. He found that it's true. And
I
now
actually haven't looked yet. I'm waiting to just see the.
He's going to go. And when you show him the
But
study,
and this is what I'm wondering: is the paper ever actually going to be linked, or are we just going to say that we have it, but somehow it's like the Epstein files? It's right there on my desk. Oh, but it doesn't exist.
Right? That's what he's going to do, and then we'll spend an eternity on
There's
that.
a super chat question for Ben and or Grace.
He's worthless trash.
It's gonna
so
be
there's a super. Let's not dehumanize. People.
Trash.
But there is a super chat from Cody. He's asking, "Did God create divorce?"
God created the circumstances that lead to.
Can I jump in a bit?
Thank you so much, Cody.
So we're not getting we're not getting the study link, guys, because I was going to share it with the public chat. We're not getting it. It's been Epstein files.
15 religious landscape study US.
So she'll say it, but she won't link the URL so that I can go look at it. Yeah, she'll say it, but she won't link the URL so that I can go look at it.
Let's see if we can do. Let's see if you can.
Yeah, of course.
Anything you
because I'm going to share it
into
into the public chat in YouTube.
Anything.
So that everybody else who might have an eyebrow raised with respect to what her claims were.
I need you to pull up John 3:16.
Yeah, like Jefferson Spatchcock, who I trust infinitely more than Grace, said it's 35%, not 75%. He's almost certainly correct.
Okay, are you going to now?
No, you didn't read it carefully. You didn't read it carefully because it said.
I haven't read it yet. No, because I'm copy pasting it into the YouTube chat first, which is what I said I was going to do.
35%.
No, I said Jefferson Spatchcock said 35% in the chat, and he's
John 3:16 from the Pigeon Bible.
Thank you so much, Karen Dave. I greatly appreciate that. He says, Leo, they're just trying to run ad hom and gambits because they just got stomped in the philosophical portion of the debate. Karen Dave, you make one point.
Oh, of course, it's hilarious.
Two assholes congratulating themselves on their asshole behavior.
Can we go back to?
But they have no substantive
The
responses to the
percentage of
arguments that
adults
have been
raised
laid before
Christian
them.
who now identify as atheist, agnostic, nothing in particular. With parents married, it's 20%. With parents divorced, it's 35%. This means children of divorce are 75%.
Yeah, you said
that is 75% more likely to become religious nuns or atheists. So
I will concede with Leo. I thought you said, I may have misunderstood it, that you're 75% of children of divorce are nuns or atheists.
Oh, no.
Cody says, Ben dehumanized me for a question. Great God. I think he was responding to Leo, actually, but I do appreciate the super chat. Did you dehumanize Cody?
I like how I'm all of a sudden a Jew.
Here, tacos. Can we go back to the ontological argument that I made earlier? You remember the one? We were just me and you. Yeah. So you see the trees, right? Let's say the first being saw the trees, and then he saw that the tree was different from something else, like the grass. So he saw a contrast there, right? Now, the thing is, when you work with duality, you're working with a process in your mind based on duality, right? So what happens is that void or quantum field. No, let me just get through it and then you can speak. So the void or quantum field, right, does not have one. It doesn't. It's not objectified as like a tree or something like that. So it's not singular. It has a duality. And it's that same duality that actually acts in creation, right? So when you say it's a sentient life force, you say it's a sentient life force because it has that duality. So,
I have no idea what you're saying, dude. This seems totally nonsensical.
Does anyone get this? Ben, do you agree with me?
I don't.
I'm Catholic, by the way.
I didn't quite grasp it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's a weird take, but if you think about it, right?
We're just really big dummy heads, tacos. We just don't get the super duper philosophical colophily of it all.
Was that a useful
we're
contribution,
so big
Leo,
dummy brains
to the conversation?
Was it meant to be a useful contribution,
So you
Grace?
you're useless. agree.
Am I useless? Yeah, probably.
Like useless as shit.
Probably.
Like,
We'll find
are
a
you fucking
statistic
kidding
for
me?
it.
You think you think I do
No,
stuff?
that's why I said
Well,
I
the
think.
idea is we're having a conversation here. It's fine if you make jokes.
So, what would convince you that you're wrong about your position? No, I'm talking
Evidence.
to Ben.
Strong evidence. Oh,
shit. Never mind.
What would convince me that I'm wrong? And so you're saying, is this an unverifiable claim? I gave you two examples. I said if you were to discover the bones of Jesus Christ, if you were to discover the bones of the Virgin Mary, if you were to actually find anything that was ever infallibly defined by the Catholic Church that can't be upheld logically or rationally or evidentially.
What if somebody drew a logical contradiction in your worldview?
What's that?
What if somebody drew a logical contradiction in your worldview? Showed that your worldview is logically incompatible. Would that cause you to abandon it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting. I could do that. Quite
okay,
easily.
go ahead.
Wait a minute. Is this a bloodbath challenge?
Sure.
No.
It's fine.
I mean, if you
Is
want to
everybody
make it
cool
that
with
you
doing
can.
a bloodbath? And Minar, we can hear you. You're unmuted, by the way.
I was.
Oh, we can't hear you, but all right, everyone's cool with the bloodbath. Let's go. All right, everybody's disembodied minds right now. We're getting started here. Everybody in the audience knows the bloodbath rules. It's pay to mute. You can remove somebody.
Why is
add
Lola
somebody.
asking whether Ava would sleep? Oh.
All right, let's have a good clean bloodbath. Let's hope the audience interferes a ton. Let's go.
Yeah. So Ben, why did God permit the Holocaust?
The answers to God's actions throughout history are not available to all of us instantly. That's not part of the Catholic claim, as you know. You can make conjectures as to why he permitted the Holocaust. I think best. Hold on a minute. Hold on.
Do you think the Holocaust was wrong?
I do believe that the events of the 20th century were to show us that when we abandon the Catholic faith for various forms of atheism, we destroy ourselves.
Do you think the Holocaust was evil?
Of course, yeah.
Do you think God is morally perfect?
Of course, yes.
Is God all
He is.
So God's being morally
I mean, you're
perfect
just saying the
would
problem
entail
of
that he
evil.
wants
Okay,
to
like,
maximize
wow, big one.
goodness.
The problem of evil. How do we solve it?
But so if God is morally perfect, then that just means that God wants to maximize goodness.
Real fast. Ben just got a 2-minute mute from Cody. Thank you so much, Cody. That's greatly appreciated.
Oh, Jesus.
Somebody pay to undo that. Mute shouldn't be
They are.
allowed
It's the
during
rules. You
bloodbath,
get to
in
talk
my
at him.
opinion. Because now
You get to talk
I
at
have to
him.
sit here. Well, but I'm not trying to just talk at him. I'm trying to have a discussion.
Yeah,
And now I have to sit here for 2 minutes saying nothing.
I mean, I guess so.
I mean, I know he donated the money.
I do appreciate that, Cody. So I think a good thing to point out then while we're waiting for the unmute would be that they seem to not understand the argument that I presented earlier, Leo.
I don't think so. I mean, there were certainly no substantive responses to it.
And you see at least how that would be a sound argument, in my view, against their positions, right? Without even claiming an alternative necessary being, right?
Yeah.
Boom.
Muscle memory on
That's
Ben's
definitely
behalf,
muscle
I
memory.
think.
I mean, you can see the years of practice, right?
How much time is
49
left on that
seconds. You
timer?
got
I might
time
go
to
to the bathroom.
pee. BS Lewis is
Okay.
saying somebody mute Ben again. It's a less of a interruption if you're asking questions that are annoying questions and doing a 2-minute mute, but I do appreciate the 2-minute mute. You can deny them. It proves my case. Let's see what the chat's saying. Looks like everybody's laughing at Cody muting you, which is, yeah, and then they're demanding more mutes. I can't hit the mute again, but Leo did. I can hit the mute again, but Leo didn't take advantage. Maybe ask hard questions, Cody. That might be the better way to do it. Alien Robot Ghost says my argument is trash. That's good to know. It's not my, I mean, I guess I've been running it for a long time. You're unmuted, Ben. I guess wait for Leo. It's not my argument. It's actually a recent argument presented by Joe Schmidt. But it's something that I have roughly been running, not formalized for a while.
My only point is this went from a bloodbath to an ejaculate bath, where you guys are jerking
we
each
are
other
covered
off,
in
and that's okay.
Disgusting stuff now, but it happens, right?
I think it's good that you affirm each other, but I would just say it's a different type of bodily fluid bath at that point.
I appreciate the input, Ben. Thank you. You provide very valuable input as always.
So, Ben, do you agree that God's being morally perfect would entail that God seeks to maximize goodness and reduce evil where he has
no, you're
power to do
using
so?
utilitarianism. I would say overall,
I am
maximize
not.
goodness, absolutely true, but like not minimize evil, like.
But wouldn't maximizing goodness
No,
just
let me use an
entail the
analogy. If I can
minimization
use
of
an
evil,
analogy,
since good and evil
if I can use an analogy,
complementary to one another?
As a parent, I'm a parent of 6 kids. Sometimes you let a kid get into trouble so he'll learn his lesson, and you don't help him to avoid it.
Yeah, but you're not omnipotent and morally
No.
perfect. So it would be disanalogous to
No,
God.
it is
who
analogous
both
to
all
God
powerful
because
and
I'm a
morally
father
perfect.
and God is the Father. So a good father. You're not talking about.
But it's not analogous.
Okay, you got to talk.
You're
over
not
me. Go
all
ahead.
powerful,
This is
and
what
you're
do
not
2 minutes
morally
of
perfect.
jerking yourself off. Then you had nothing to say. You had nothing to say for
Are
2
you
minutes.
giving
But as
up?
soon as I start talking, you start talking over me.
Yeah, because you're presenting an analogy. That
Can I
isn't
present an
analogous.
analogy?
You are not all powerful,
And then you
you are
respond,
not
and then I
morally perfect.
make a point back.
Well,
Okay,
it's
so
probably
all right,
not
so
gonna be
so
worth
it's not worth
responding to
doing.
because it's going to be disanalogous.
Okay,
but you can give it.
Isn't the problem of evil saying if God is an all-loving Father, how would a father XYZ? Okay, and I'm saying, okay,
No, it says
is a
nothing about
perfect
fatherhood or
analogy.
fathership.
So I don't know. Like it's about as good of an analogy as you can get.
Also, you mentioned something about utilitarianism. The problem of evil is an internal critique. It doesn't use any particular moral ideology.
You're
It just uses the
saying
moral ideology of
a
Christian.
loving being would
all loving, or rather
morally
morally
perfect person who's in charge,
morally perfect and all powerful.
Yes, if a superior person has the power to minimize evil, in other words, bad effects, would do so. And I use an analogy to say that's not necessarily true. When a parent can, though not omniscient, have a kid avoid consequences, doesn't mean he's omniscient. But in this case, he does have the power to do that. He would not always do that. So wrong.
And real quick,
are you saying that there are?
Yeah, I was just going to say real quick, Trigger Man.
Sorry, go ahead.
Thank you so much for the super chat. He says people mute someone when they can't handle the truth. Thank you for the input, Trigger Man. I appreciate the super chat.
Okay, so I don't agree with you. So you said it's logically.
It sounds, Ben, like what you're saying is that there can be overarching reasons that justify the occurrence of some evils.
That would
is that
be
what
true.
you're saying?
That would be true.
That God has reasons, right? So then, in what instance are those things evil? I mean, if they're justified, I don't know what sense it would make to say that a justified action is evil, because in virtue of it being justified, that's just to say that it ought to occur, all things considered, and that's just what it means. I don't even know what you're talking about. To be good.
Like, so there are two types of evil. There are like physical evils, and then there are moral evils. I assume you're talking about moral evils.
Well, I just take evil to be that which I just take evil to be that which ought not to occur.
A privation of the good.
No, if you want to call it that, you can. But when I say something is evil, I'm just saying that it shouldn't happen, all things considered. When I say that being a woman is evil, what I'm saying is that you ought not to women, all things considered. That you shouldn't do that. It's not a thing that
do you do to women? When someone does what to women? Oh.
Rape.
Oh, okay.
Rape them.
Okay. So you're talking about a moral evil, something you shouldn't do.
I mean, if you saw a woman being raped in an alley behind a dumpster and you knew that you could stop it, you knew you had the power to stop that from happening, would you stop that from happening?
Most likely, but
okay. Do you think that, at least generally speaking, most people would say if you saw it happening and could have stopped it, but you didn't, that was a bad thing, that you did something wrong by not stopping it? Do you think most people would, generally speaking, agree with that? Okay, so God doesn't stop from happening, even though he's got the power to, and he's morally perfect. So I would presume that what would be entailed by that is that he would want to stop them, but he's not a bad person for not stopping them. Why does God get off the hook there?
well, God is sort of the author of the universe, right? And he does allow evil to occur for the greater good in a way that we're not able to usually adjudicate, although we do allow evil. And you have to understand, evil, like, technically is the privation of the good, and it can have like a physical quality, like a flood or death itself is the privation of a good. But you're talking about like people doing things that they shouldn't do. Is that correct? So if you go to the Holocaust, I'm not going to deny that, like,
what it means for something to be
there
evil.
was moral evil involved in murdering people simply because they're part of a group. But you're saying, why doesn't God, who definitely could have stopped that, why doesn't he do that? Because he allows us to see the consequences of our behavior.
And real fast before your response,
he's got overarching
like a good father.
Before your response, Cody H was asking, thank you again, Cody. He's asking real fast, is the Holy Spirit God?
No.
So what you're saying is that God has overarching reasons for allowing these women to be raped.
Whatever you want to say, like
that
kids with
occurring.
cancer, etc.
Okay, so then in what sense is it evil? Seems that if it's justified, particularly by God's light, that it ought to occur, all things considered, then I just don't know what it means to call it something evil. If it's what should happen, I don't know what it means to say what should happen is evil.
Well, I can give you
that seems to just be
I can give
incoherent.
you the East. Oh, he just walks away. You hear me? Okay, great.
No,
great.
I've got my headphones in. I can still, I can hear you even if I walk away.
In the Easter whatever hymn, it says, "O Felix culpa, O happy fault that brought such great." I forget what the rest of the Latin is. In other words, it's praising the fall, the turn of man away from God, in that it created the conditions so that he could come and, through the death and resurrection of his son, Jesus Christ, save us and bring us to a greater intimacy. So I don't think that's contradicting anything. So in what sense? Like, it's an interesting question, Leo. In what sense is anything really bad? It isn't. That's why Paul says,
in the
death,
sense
thy
that
sting?
It shouldn't happen.
Oh, death, where is thy sting? So for Christians, we resolve the problem of evil.
I think that there are things
in a way
that are bad.
similar to you by saying what appear to be evils on one sense are gifts.
Well, there's a problem of evil for me. I don't posit an all-powerful, morally perfect.
For the sake of what we're saying, you are positing that
with respect to actually stopping any of these.
What is the secular answer to the
you
problem
just seem
of
to
evil?
think that none of these things are evil.
No,
you seem to think that none of these things are actually evil because God has justifying reasons for permitting
deep
their
down
occurrence.
they're an experience of love. Yes, that's right.
Yeah, so they're just not evil. There is no evil in the world on your view because all of the things that we would otherwise consider evil are justified.
But that doesn't mean that, like,
if they're justified,
pain doesn't hurt.
Then they just ought
like,
to occur.
Ultimately, if I experience pain, it's a gift from God.
Sure, I'm not.
So
talking
that's
about pain.
our
I'm
solution
talking
to the
about
problem
evil.
of evil. It's not logically incoherent. What is your problem?
Not a
What is your
solution.
solution to the problem of evil?
I don't have a problem with evil. I don't posit the existence of an all-powerful.
Well, how do you deal with the Holocaust?
You do.
You think the Holocaust didn't occur because
how do I deal with the Holocaust? It was a horrible. It was a horrible thing, and do my best to educate people so that it doesn't happen again. Which it seems like
definitely
maybe it might.
People like you were in charge. Definitely.
And real fast, Ben Cody is asking,
No.
did Jesus have the Holy Spirit?
Jesus had a relationship with the Holy Spirit as one of the persons of the Trinity.
Thank you so much, Cody. Appreciate the super chat.
Not in the same sense we can have the Holy Spirit. So your response to the Holocaust is, I think we should do more education, but it probably won't work. I actually think that's a fair secular response.
Well, it's not that I just think we haven't actually done the proper
your response
education.
is more education. You think we need more Holocaust memorials in this country? We need
That's
more
one of
Holocaust
one
educational
of
programs?
potential responses. Well, education isn't just teaching people, hey, this was the Holocaust and it was bad. It's teaching people information about the world in groups of people and teaching the proper sociology. And this is why things like critical social theory are important, that drives people away from the kinds of ideologies and belief systems that
Such as
lead
atheism.
to people who do the Holocaust. Well,
Oh,
no.
I mean, you don't think the National Socialists were, broadly speaking, anti-Catholic?
No. The Catholic Church celebrated Hitler's birthday every year from his takeover of
Okay, so
Germany
you
to
think
the day he died.
Okay, so you think that National Socialism was a Catholic movement?
Nope, didn't say that. I didn't say that it was a Catholic movement. All I said is that the Catholic Church celebrated Adolf Hitler's birthday up until he died.
But
which they did.
Are you right? So the Catholic Church had relations with.
I think that the Nazi movement incorporated Christian imagery and ideology, at least minimally, into their views. But I also think that there were certain pagan, there was pagan symbology in it as well. I think.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to sit here and say that Nazis were Christian, but there were certainly Christian themes and Christian symbology and aspects of Christian ideology.
Yeah, right. Because you can't
Nazis
go
in
against the
Germany.
main, like, worldview of an entire nation all at once, right? But you can see, you certainly would concede that they weren't into Judaism as a religion, right?
Well, I think that it wasn't necessarily the religion of Judaism so much as it was an attack on an ethnic group of people.
There
the
is no
Semitic
such
people.
ethnic group, but anyways, no, there is not.
Yes, there is. Semitic is
No,
Semitic
Jewish
people
is a
an
religion,
ethnicity, just like
and they
Arabian
didn't
people
like
is an
Judaism
ethnicity.
because they felt like it was.
Yeah.
Do you know what their critique?
Jewish is the religion. Semitic is the ethnic group. That's why it's referred to as
Those Jews are not
anti-Semitism.
part of the
because
Semitic
the
group.
ethnic
No,
group
that's not
is
true.
the Semitic.
Because then you'd have to
people.
say the Palestinians are more Semitic
Yeah, it
than
is.
the Ashkenazi Jews who are oppressing them.
The Palestinian people
So then
are largely
anti-Semitism
ethnically
would
Semitic.
mean
Look
being
at where they're
anti-Semitic
from.
would be being an IDF soldier. Okay, and I get it; it's all a mess. But let's go back to the point.
Some people
Let's go
have
back to the
argued
point.
that. Sure.
What is the philosophical critique of Judaism that the National Socialists had? Is that it was a religion for the weak, right? And that the Übermensch, the Nietzschean Übermensch, was the strong man who didn't have this slave mentality. And they believed that, although they weren't really going to say it out front, that at the core of Christianity was a continuation of this weakness and actually like an exaggeration of the weakness, right? That turned the other cheek. They hated that, right? So you would have to concede that there's an interesting way in which the rejection of Christianity, which is what you've done, and Catholicism, which you've done in your life, directly led to the type of behavior exhibited by the Germans in the Holocaust. And that should be the lesson. Well, you can just deny it, but it is true. They believed that you had to be.
No, it's not.
Do you not agree that they believed that a combination of Nietzschean sort of Übermensch stuff plus Volk religion, like the kin and kinfolk type of stuff, combined to say we must ruthlessly eliminate these people?
Nazis meant when they talked about Übermensch? I don't think you know what was meant when.
All right.
Oh, you don't think I studied Nietzsche?
Cody does have another statement. He said.
Well, it didn't have anything to do with Nietzsche. Sorry.
He said you just said the Holy Spirit is God. Thank you so much for the super chat, Cody.
Cody is very funny because
he's persistent.
Übermensch was
I'm not sure what he's saying. Like,
refer-
yes, the Holy Spirit is God. Yes,
but he's saying that you said Jesus isn't the Holy Spirit. So he's saying, I think he's going to say Jesus is a God, but who knows where he'll go next? We'll find out.
Well, I mean, it's the view of the Trinity, but if he wants to spend $8,000 for me to say I believe in God, the Father Almighty, Creator of heaven and earth, I believe in the Son Jesus Christ, it's like it's fine with me. I'm up for it. 3 persons, 1 nature. Okay, so yeah, God. And one interesting thing is God. I think you would know this also, Leo. God is not the name. Is not a proper name, right? It's a category like angel, human, animal, plant.
I mean, I think it could
Okay.
be either. I think it's used.
But in the Old Testament, when the word Lord is there, it's actually the tetragrammaton that it is translating out of respect as Lord. It's not really the word Lord. But anyways, in other places they have the use of the word God or Deus. But anyways, so your solution to the problem of evil is education, which
I don't have a problem
so
of
do
evil.
you think the Holocaust was evil?
Of course,
you've got a problem of evil. By atheistic lights,
No, I don't.
it shouldn't.
What's the problem?
You can't say it's evil.
What
right?
when atheists and non-religious people refer to the problem of evil, or more appropriately, the argument from evil, do you know in virtue of what it's a problem? Like when they say that the problem of, do you know what the problem
they claim that the
is?
problem is to characterize God as omnipotent and all-loving is a conflict with things like death, the Holocaust, cancer, etc.
Well, evil. Yeah, the existence
And I
of an all-powerful and morally
already showed
perfect
you how
being is
that's not
logically
true.
inconsistent with
But
the
you
existence
say
of evil.
how?
Well, it is
what does
true.
evil mean for you? Tell me what evil means.
You didn't show
Tell
that
me
it
what
wasn't
evil
true.
is.
You just conceded. You just
You said the
conceded that there is
Holocaust
no
is evil,
evil in your
correct?
worldview.
Okay. What does evil mean? What
But
does
it's
evil
not
mean?
about me.
What does evil mean?
I already told you things are evil. If things are evil, if all
Okay,
things
so the
considered,
Holocaust
they ought
ought
not to occur.
not to have occurred. So what's your
Yeah, it ought
how
not
do
to
you
occur,
make sense of
have occurred,
something?
all things considered. And had I had the
Okay,
power
but
to
you
stop
don't. You
it,
don't
I
have
would
much
have.
power at all. Right. Okay, and
Yeah,
I don't
you're
either.
right. I don't
okay,
have. I'm not an all-powerful
okay,
and
but
certainly
you
not
keep
morally perfect
attacking
being.
God.
But had I
Well,
been an
wait,
all-powerful,
wait.
morally perfect being, I would have stopped the Holocaust because it's evil, and I don't want evil things to happen. And if I can stop them, I
but
will.
like that's every human being agrees with that. But in your worldview, you actually can't say the Holocaust is evil, that it shouldn't have happened, because
Yes, I can.
everything happens in a way that is
Yes, I can.
morally neutral. That's a problem
without
for you.
evaluation, sure, but not
Well,
based
you
on
believe that the
evaluation.
Nazis do
That's
what
not a
they do
problem.
as a result of whatever chemicals flow into their brain, so it's amoral.
No, I don't.
It's amoral.
That's
It is
not at all
outside
what
of
I believe.
morality.
It's not even remotely close to what I believe. I like how the one thing I've noticed about you, Ben, is you really like to tell people what it is that they believe rather than asking
No, I'm
them.
drawing
And
inferences.
that has always been an indicator for the kind of person
can't
that I'm
have-
having a discussion with. It's usually somebody that's not too interested in actually engaging with the other person, but is sort of interested in just
I was
painting
going to
up
answer
straw
this.
men and attacking
I
those.
get it. You're just going to
sorry to
You
interrupt.
just don't want to engage it. 100%. 100%.
Thank you, Cody, for the super chat. Thank you, Ben, for the answer. So you're saying God is 200%. Gotcha.
Whatever you want to say. God, Jesus is fully divine. The Holy Spirit is fully divine.
And just for Cody, I preferred the argument from evil.
But
to
you
the
have a
actual
problem, which is you say there is no right or wrong. Is that correct?
I
thought you yesterday were saying
never
that
said
right
that.
and wrong is something you make.
What I said yesterday is that I think right and wrong are stance-dependent notions.
Okay, so
it does
wouldn't
not
you
mean
have to?
that there is no right and wrong. That means that what informs what's right and wrong is merely based on evaluative
Okay, but
reasoning
wouldn't that
of
be
agents.
true of everyone?
Yeah, I think.
Okay, so
it
how's
is
that
true
different than
everyone.
saying?
That's why I'm a moral anti-realist.
Why isn't that moral realism?
Because it's dependent on the
But like
stances
that's
of agents.
true. Everyone would
That's
say it
what
depends on the stance of
anti-realism
the
is.
agents.
Yeah.
Are you
Oh my
saying-
God, you're getting it. Welcome to moral anti-realism.
I don't think you understand
Ben.
what you're saying. That's not anti-realism.
Congratulations. This
You're
turned out
saying,
all right
but I
after all.
think in order to
Well,
be
yes, it is.
anti-realist, I'm saying, of course, a person needs to be there to make that assessment. But you're saying the person can have a fundamentally different assessment than another person, and they're not adjudicable. Okay,
Yeah.
so by your lights, the Nazis themselves may have thought that what they were doing was right. Okay, and you wouldn't
Yeah,
be
they
one to
probably
tell
did.
them otherwise.
Oh, I
but
will
you
be
can
one
say
to tell
by
them
my
otherwise. And I think a
stance,
lot of people had that mentality,
would
and I
say-
think that's why a lot of countries ended up at war with Germany. Is because we are going to tell you this is wrong, and if you don't
On what
stop
basis
it,
will
we'll
we
fucking
stop?
make you.
On what basis?
And that's what happened.
Yeah.
On what basis? The basis that I think that it's wrong. The basis of
Okay, so-
intersubjectivity. The basis that we're the
But
rest
aren't
of the
you-
world
aren't
and we're
you
bigger and
implying
stronger
that
than
they
Germany,
are
and we'll make them
wrong?
stop doing
Aren't
things
you
we don't
implying
like
that they
that
are
they're
wrong
doing.
and you are right?
This is exactly what happened with the Civil War in the United States.
Okay,
The
but
North was
by
like,
your
yeah, no, we're just
logic,
gonna not do slavery
you
anymore.
just
The South was like,
said they're
well,
not
then come fight
wrong.
us. And we were like, okay, and then we did, and guess what happened? We stopped slavery because we were bigger and
Okay,
stronger.
so you just say that people who have equally valid opinions go to war and might makes right.
No,
Well, that is the implication. You just
that
said
people
the
is
Nazis,
that there are
the
intersubjective
Nazi
moral norms
argument for
within
the final
societies,
solution
usually formed
is
by
just
culture,
as valid
that are then imposed onto the society
as
as a
any
set of
other
rules
view.
or values. Usually,
I
through
don't know
some
why you have to
broader
talk over me,
legislative
but
means.
okay.
And
So
then this
now
is
we
where
have
we
a
get the
bloodbath.
concept of laws. I'm not talking over you. I'm trying to explain to you
I
what
would
it is I'm
prefer
saying
if
rather
you
than
talk
you
and then I
bloviating
talk.
about what
But,
you think I'm saying, like an emotional leaf blower.
and now we'll hear nothing from you because you only want to talk over me. But go ahead.
I mean, yeah, you conceded that there is no evil in your worldview, so I mean, yeah. And you've also conceded that you're a moral anti-realist. Now, welcome. Welcome,
Jesus in his humanity was human and therefore limited. In his divinity, he was all-knowing. And the interplay of that is called the hypostatic union. And it is interesting how the humanity of Christ was not exactly all-knowing, though he had a divine nature. So that, like, when he was watching Joseph presumably use primitive tools or like tools of the time to saw wood, was he sitting there going like, dude, I could tell you how to make a table saw? No. But it is an interesting thing how that interplayed. But I have nothing to say to this idiot because all he wants to do is talk over me. He's got nothing to say otherwise.
Cody says if God is all-knowing, would Jesus be all-knowing?
That's the question I just answered.
Gotcha. And so do you have Leo muted right now?
Yeah, Taco.
I don't have Leo muted, but he has nothing
gotcha.
to say unless he wants to talk over me. So I've already won.
Is this a concession,
Well, no,
or is the conversation moving forwards?
It is what it is. Leo sucks as a human being.
All right. So what we'll do is
this is what daddy issues look like when daddy's had enough of the bullshit.
All right. So we'll do this.
I had a daddy.
I guess that's a concession technically. So we'll take the
Leo
concession.
lost.
I mean, yeah, he conceded that there is no evil in his worldview. And then he conceded the moral.
No, he got in a point where he couldn't get out of it,
I think
so he
that's
started
really
talking over me, and I said, "Fine."
What point was that? What point did you get me into that I couldn't get out of?
You can't talk over me when I say this. Is that according to you,
they both agree with each other, so they became
the
stupid.
National Socialists were no
Everyone is wrong
more
but
right
me.
or wrong than those who opposed them, and yet we went to war with them. And according to your worldview, the only reason we could go to war with them is because we're bigger than them, not because we're right and they're wrong. And that represents a view that almost everyone would find utterly detestable, except morons like you.
So when you say that they were no more right or wrong than the other side,
No, when you
what
said
do you
that,
mean by
when
that?
you
Like,
said
no more
that.
right or wrong.
Yes, you
Well,
did.
I never said that.
You're a liar.
No,
Liar
I
of
didn't. You
liars.
said it just now. You lawyer! Oh, you
All
dirty
right,
little
Menar's
lawyer!
5 minutes.
No,
Menar's
no, I
gone
never
for
said
5
that.
minutes.
Screaming
then
into the mic is not cool, dude.
What?
And then we've got Cody. So Ben, God isn't all powerful.
So Ben, God isn't all powerful. Nope, God is all powerful.
Gotcha. And then
But he
Karen
couldn't
Dave
stop the
says
Holocaust.
Ben
Oh,
definitely
you're
said-
lying. God could have stopped the Holocaust. Absolutely.
And then Karen Dave says that
So I didn't.
Ben
I already
definitely said
explained that.
evil doesn't exist in his worldview.
Yeah, he did. He said, "Yeah, there's just no evil. Everything's justified
Thank
in
you
God's
so much
eyes. That's
for
why
the
it happened."
super
I didn't
chat.
say evil
It's
doesn't
greatly
exist, but I
appreciated.
said in a certain way, Paul said, "Death,
He
where is
did.
thy sting? Sword, where is thy pain?" Because God, it is true that for Christians, we see all suffering and objective evil in the light of the triumph of the cross. And therefore, there is a way in which death is an illusion,
Yeah, it's
though I
justified.
don't deny that death occurs. For me, I look forward to
Yeah,
my
it's
death.
justified. So it's not really evil.
I fear to think what it's like to be in your eyes when you think of death, because you know you're going to be held account for
I
the
think of like
filth
when you blow
and
out a candle.
blasphemy that you spit forth on this platform.
Yeah, Santa Claus
you
isn't going to
wait,
bring you any presents.
I'm not going to be
this
there
year
for
'cause
you,
you've
bro.
been a
I'm not going to be there for you in that moment.
naughty
Yeah.
boy.
Yeah, scream into the mic like a
naughty
fucking
boy.
asshole.
Just for everybody in the audience, we're still taking the audience vote on the winner, but I did put up a poll. So if you're in the audience, please vote on who you think won the bloodbath. We do have an official winner, though, Leophilius. So Leophilius, go ahead and pick your Bible verse.
I don't. No, I don't want to hear a Bible verse.
Yeah, you're
read
probably
in that
a
God
knight.
You can
awful
opt
if
out.
you're
That's
the Bible.
fine. And then Cody asked, so did Jesus know he was going to die for our sins?
Yeah, in some sense, Jesus is humanity. In some sense,
Thank you so much, Cody. That's greatly appreciated.
but that would be where you get into this, like, Father, if this cup can pass from me. So, like, was he saying, like, was he just kidding? Was he fully aware? In some ways, he was aware. He clearly, in some
course he
ways, he
was.
was.
He came back 3 days later. Was like,
Oh my
I'm just
God,
fucking with you
Leo,
You are a
guys.
stop
disgusting
screaming.
person. May you reap the rewards of saying that. So disgusting.
At least I'm not a
Can you
thorp.
Yeah, I
stop
hope that
yelling?
helps.
It just ruins the whole panel. Stop.
Well, here the daddy issues get real, right? Time to take
It's
time to
ruined
take the
everything.
bathrobe off, bro.
Turn your gain down, maybe, or something. It's like it's ear rape.
I love how you think I'm too loud,
I
but
also
Minar
think
is not.
Minar
He
is
doesn't
too loud.
Because I
fellate
know
his
my
Minar's
microphone
microphone
like
louder
intelligent.
than
you.
his.
He doesn't fellate his microphone when he's
Okay.
feeling
All
insecure.
All right. Not at all. Not at all. Oh, I'm
Yeah,
so
you are insecure.
Oh.
Yes, you are, and for good reason.
This is Brian with insecurity. What seems to be the problem?
Notice no one's laughing. No one's laughing.
Yeah, because nobody gets the
All
fucking
right. Well, so
joke.
maybe you shouldn't
That's
make
why.
jokes that.
I don't do jokes to make other people laugh. I make jokes just to make me laugh because it's fucking
No, that's
fun
not how
sometimes,
comedy
right?
works. That's
It's fun to watch
called a
people
lack of
not
social
get
skills.
jokes that I get. That's not how
That's
your
not how
kind
anyone's
of
kind
comedy works.
Leo.
It works a lot for the people that
No, it
watch
doesn't.
South Park.
Average
No, it
South
doesn't.
Park.
Yes, it does. Because I quoted a South Park episode.
Karen Dave said he's going to stop muting Minar as a gift.
Is he still muted? Why is he still muted? I thought
Because
it
there's
went away
1
a while
minute
ago.
left on the 5-minute
Oh,
mute.
my bad. Okay. The loneliest shit I've ever heard, Leo. I make jokes just to make myself laugh.
I don't know what that means.
Sad.
Yeah, and I know
Sad.
a lot of people that are like that.
You know, if you say just on a comedic level, if someone doesn't laugh at your joke and they go, "I don't get it," and you go, "I don't make jokes for others. I make them for me." That's like the definition of lacking social skills. No, for everyone, Leo. Well, do you think
No,
wearing
I
a
don't think so.
bathrobe, would you wear that bathrobe in public?
No, that's why I'm wearing it.
Okay,
Because I'm in my
so you
fucking
agree.
house, dude.
So you agree with
And it's
me that
comfortable to
wearing
wear
a
in my house.
bathrobe in
Like, what the
public would
fuck?
be weird. So we do have some commonality.
I don't think it would be weird. I think it's not a common occurrence. I've seen it. Have you ever been to a Walmart anywhere?
I've been to
ever?
Walmart. Yeah.
Yeah, you see a lot worse than people wearing bathrobes.
Don't call
my
me
guy.
my guy. I'm not your
Welcome back,
guy.
Minar.
I'm not your
Some of
guy.
those
I
people
find you
should put a
disgusting.
bathrobe on. Some of those people should put a
I'm
bathrobe
not
on.
your
You don't think he looks
buddy.
like
I'm
Hugh
not your
Hefner right
guy.
there? You don't think he looks like
And
Hugh
I,
Hefner?
yeah, right.
I'm not
I
your
didn't
guy,
call you
friend.
my guy. I think you're a disgusting person.
Oh, they're gonna call her out.
I'm not
This
your
is
guy,
fresh.
buddy.
I want to.
You're the type of person
introduce...
who should get punched in the face, but on the internet, no one can do that. So you just do this. You'd get punched in the face if you were anywhere near
they
someone.
They probably couldn't in real life either.
Oh,
You'd
really?
have to be
Yeah,
pretty
right,
fucking
right,
quick to do
really.
that. I doubt you're that
Mm.
fast. Yeah, really.
You suck, Leo. Get your act together.
Tacos, let me ask you a question about the whole
Sure.
psychological element.
Her
here.
name is the pretty intellectual. What a great point, IDK. Can you believe she calls herself an intellectual? And she's definitely not pretty either.
Who, your mother?
She's
all
failed on
right.
both ends.
Your mother's all right. Don't put her down. like
Minar,
that.
you're
I wanted
off
to
mute.
say, Tacos, that for me, if you want to say there's a
Tyrone Wilson.
psychological impediment, I will admit.
Tyrone Wilson, that's fucking
Hang on. I
hilarious.
need to remute Minar until he realizes he's unmuted.
Oh yeah, he
Sorry
hasn't
about
realized he's unmuted. He's just talking to his chat. Okay, I was like, that's antisocial, even for Minar. No,
Oh, no,
I
he
don't think.
knows.
I don't think he. I think he has
He
this
knows.
tab muted. He's not responding. Minar.
Minar, we're here. You're here.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
see,
just-
he's
I
not
just
hearing
told
it.
Yeah, I just told him he's unmuted, so let's see if he responds.
Hop back on the camel. Come back over.
I will admit that there is a part of me
Wow.
that would be very sad if I was to come to the conclusion that God does not exist. Although I don't think I could ever come to that conclusion. But let's say I did. I wouldn't want to, because that would mean that life is meaningless. I don't have a father in heaven.
Oh, I'm
I
not a
don't have the
nihilist. I don't
afterlife.
have that problem. That's
Well,
a
all
Christian
atheists are
position, right?
nihilists inherently. But I just wanted to
Well,
ask you.
Well, no,
instead
That's
of
not
you,
Christianity
true.
I
leads
just
to
wanted to ask
nihilism. That's the
you.
issue.
I just wanted to ask you. I'm saying I guess you could call it somewhat of an impediment in the sense that I wouldn't want that to be true. Can I ask you on your side, would you feel similarly if you were to come to the inevitable conclusion that God does exist?
I would definitely fall into nihilism if I became a Christian. I would have no choice but to fall into nihilism.
No,
Why do you call religion having rose-colored glasses if it's nihilism?
Christianity removes all meaning and purpose from life, right? So I
Wrong.
would definitely fall into nihilism. But
Wrong.
with that being said, I say rose-tinted glasses because you're taking all of our justified. Here, I'll just play it real fast. Give me a second. I got a video to explain this actually that I made a while back that will clarify everything, right? So bear with me.
A lot of theists ask the question, how did the universe come from nothing? The reason that they ask questions like this is because the base naturalistic presuppositions that they borrow from our worldview only allow minimal level of intelligibility at a local scale, making them unable to understand the scientific explanation of the natural formation of this current representation of the universe. They add on an incoherent presupposition that a God exists. This begins to obfuscate everything outside of the local scale to them like a pair of rose-tinted glasses. They then borrow our justified things like space-time, logic, gravity, science, and everything else that we use, and then add incoherencies to that and call it something like the uniformity of nature. This is like adding on another pair of rose-tinted glasses. They continue this process until everything outside of local scale is completely unintelligible to them.
There you go.
That makes no sense. But anyways, it just seems like anger and lying.
That's just repeating what you said to us. So we didn't need to see the video. But you didn't really answer my
fully
question.
explain the rose-tinted glasses analogy. Oh, Minar's back. I got you, Minar.
You didn't really answer my question, though. Do you not want to believe God exists? I'll just use your framework. God exists.
I don't care what the fundamental state of reality is.
You don't care? You debate about this for 12 hours a day. You obviously care.
Well, yeah, because
That's
I
a
think
lie.
I'm right. But if I was wrong, I wouldn't care. I would just swap positions.
You wouldn't care if you were wrong about the position that you debate about for 12 hours a day unrelentingly?
No,
You're
I mean,
lying.
I'd probably
You're
have
lying.
some cognitive dissonance initially, and then I'd probably work through it, and then I'd probably either change positions or assess where I'm coming from, and maybe make alterations to my position, or
Well, you should care.
I don't know.
You should care. See, I'm more honest than you because I say I would care. I would care if I came to that conclusion. I would care a lot. I would care so much that life would be completely different for me on a fundamental level.
Yeah,
but you just
I mean, I would be
I
sad,
don't care.
right? Because if I would be sad because then nihilism would be true, but at least I have meaning and purpose, right? But if that position ended up being true, I would know there's no meaning or purpose, and I would be very, very sad.
Good job, Grace, showing the hypocrisy and the contradiction in this disgusting atheist perspective. He holds no allegiance to his perspective. If anybody proves him wrong, because he knows that he's actually illogical, he knows that he has to create psychological pretzels in order to come up with the consensus in his brain, all the brain cells to have a consensus on what he believes in. He knows that, and so you just proved that he holds no allegiance to anything. He actually believes himself to be true. Can you believe that? It's like Leo said. It's like Leo saying, "No, I actually don't like to smoke weed." It's like saying that. It's like Leo saying that. That's exactly what this guy just conceded to saying, that he is okay with saying a statement that's 100% profoundly wrong.
Who said I smoke weed?
Can I make a point about Cody H's point here?
Thank you.
I actually
Cody
think
says it's okay to be wrong when you're
I think it's
when you're atheist.
we've proven here that it's only
Karen, come debate me.
only atheists who aren't okay with being wrong. Leo has, every time even a minor point comes along, he has to argue like a little baby that he's right. Whereas I'm perfectly capable of.
It's called micro penis.
I'm incorrect, because and the same thing with breakfast tacos. He literally said he hasn't been able to make the statement, I can conceive that I might be wrong. Basically, he can't even say that.
Are incoherent, right?
Called MPS, micro penis syndrome.
You can't even say the sentence, I can conceive that I might be wrong. Watch. Try to do it. Say the sentence. Say the sentence. We'll stay here forever. We'll stay here forever.
Is something that grounds being that doesn't exist a contradiction?
I didn't even say what it was about. You can't even say. You can't even say it. You can't say it about anything.
Is something that grounds being that doesn't exist a contradiction?
What? That's a totally different point. I'm asking you to say the statement
that grounds being a contradiction.
I can conceive that I could be wrong.
Ben, is something that doesn't exist.
He won't say the statement.
Grounding being a contradiction.
Dad, let's you and me say it. I can conceive that I could be wrong.
I could conceive that I could be wrong.
Minar, go ahead, say it.
Shit, I might be wrong.
Lots of things.
It's very hard, but I can conceive I could be wrong.
Okay. Now, Tacos, your turn.
Argument. So this
How about Leo? Can he conceive that he could be wrong?
Yeah, I didn't say that. I said I might be wrong. Oh shit, I don't know. Fuck.
Okay.
Argument.
That's good. We haven't got breakfast tacos to
Tacos won't
This
say.
deductive argument allows me.
Let's just say about anything. Could you be wrong about anything?
I can't even respond. Do you want me to respond or not?
No, I just want you to say the sentence, I could be wrong about
let
something.
me respond. So this deductive argument grants me a high level of certainty that I'm not wrong here, but I am fallibilist, and the sun could blow up tomorrow, right? And none of this would matter.
But just in general, can you, I'm not even saying about your whatever nonsense, could you be wrong about anything?
Can you be wrong about a sound deductive argument?
He won't say it.
See? So if you want to say it's okay for atheists to say they're wrong,
in the sense
it's
that the sun could blow up tomorrow,
not guys
right?
like this. Somewhat more with Leo, but with this guy, It's not okay to be wrong about anything. I said, can you concede that you could be wrong about anything? And he can't do it.
I don't think you understand what I'm saying. Ben, what type of certainty does a sound deductive argument provide?
See, he can't do it.
Do you know what type
I'm not
of
even
certainty
talking
is
about.
sound?
I'm saying about anything. Can you concede that you
and
can
real
be
quick,
wrong?
Oh yeah, I can be wrong about stuff. Rob, I'm fallible,
Okay, there
right?
you go.
Robin,
Now,
the biblical God is an immoral.
that took like
POS.
2 hours to get to.
Well, I was talking about this.
So it's not
specific
okay.
Can I ask
2
Robin a
hours
question?
in, you can get an atheist to admit he could be wrong about something.
Man, I'm glad you got him to
As soon as I
admit.
looked up syllogism, I was wrong. He was right. Leo was wrong.
I'm surprised you got him to admit. I thought he's gonna keep saying that he doesn't like the donuts.
He
That's
understood
crazy.
that he looks like an idiot.
That's crazy. I want to respond to
Not
Robin
saying.
though. What is the definition of immoral?
Now
Because
that
to
I
her,
answered
to
that
her,
question,
murdering
you
a
can answer
million
my
babies is
question,
moral.
Ben. So,
Cody says, Ben, do you want to debate me? If you want to do a bloodbath, I'm certain.
Bro, if you want to
He's been a
laugh,
big
Ben,
contributor.
if you want to laugh, Ben, I guess you would debate him. If you want to debate a pickle, I mean that's pretty much the same
what type-
weight size.
It's fine.
Same
He's
weight
a big
class, same weight
contributor. He's a
class.
big contributor, so I'm just saying for the sake of the chance.
Yeah,
Is that
I mean,
a pickle or a paper clip
real
on the
fast.
ground?
Literally like a pickle. Yeah, the same weight
It
class.
couldn't go worse.
I'm going to
It
start.
couldn't go
getting
worse
people.
than with this guy.
It actually will be.
All right. I'm going to make my point, and then you guys can talk. So my question is very simple. What type of certainty does a sound deductive argument grant you?
A sound deductive argument necessarily entails its
Hey,
conclusion.
a sound and valid argument can still be, even though
Sound
it's
includes
logical,
validity.
can still be wrong. You
Sound
understand?
includes validity, Monar. Why would you say valid and sound?
No, because it could be valid, but in certain times it's not. If for example, if I make an argument valid for a moral
All right.
statement,
Let the trained logician
I'm
talk.
not even
Ben, what's
allowed.
up? What type of certainty does a sound deductive argument provide?
A sound deductive argument.
Well, I have
necessarily
more
entails
training
the
at
truth of
logically
its
than
conclusion.
Leo.
No, you
His
don't.
training is looking at his like ejaculate.
Ben, what's the material conditional?
existence,
No.
like
That's not
being,
what it is.
be-
Anyway,
like, being
I was
born?
being
I'm not
facetious
saying
by
that you
question.
can't come
Yeah,
up with
so
a technical term that I'm not
validity.
aware of.
Well, I didn't come up with the technical
That's not
term. Material
training.
conditional
It's
is a
important that
deductive
you
rule of
looking
inference,
a few
but,
terms up
so
online is not
validity
training.
just means that the
Who were
conclusion
you
follows
trained
from the
by,
premises
Leo?
given.
Who were you
Soundness means
trained
that the
by?
premises are true and that therefore the conclusion
Who were
is
you
necessarily
trained by?
entailed
The same
by
person you
the
have sex
deductive
with,
rule of inference.
yourself.
I was trained, so I did the Introduction to Formal Logic course through the Great Courses, and then I also did the
That's
lecture
not a
series
course. That's
that,
just
and then
listening to a lecture.
You
didn't do
you've
a
obviously never done any of the Great Courses. I also
have
watched the
listened
lectures.
to
I
them.
also
They're not
watched the lecture
courses.
series by Mark Thorsby on YouTube, who's
Right,
a
Also,
professor
man,
of logic and
man,
teaches
look how far this guy
introductory logic.
traveled for knowledge. Look
Um,
how far you've traveled. That's amazing.
I
man.
have
You went to the
taken
great
courses.
course.
I have taken
But
courses
You crossed
at
the
a
grand line.
university that's
It's
one
an
of the most
argument to sound,
prestigious
then the
universities
conclusion is
in
necessarily
the United
true,
States.
assuming that it's a
So
deductive
I'm just saying,
argument, which if
technically
it's sound,
speaking,
that
it
would
doesn't
that
mean
it's
you're
deductive.
wrong, but
Its
like
inductive arguments aren't
you have
given in terms of
zero
validity and
credentials
soundness.
as a logician.
I wouldn't call myself.
He's a self-proclaimed
I
logician.
would say that I'm pretty well educated in basic formal logic, though. Like categorical.
Yeah, I would say you're
propositional
not because you don't have a
logic.
formal education, but you can be an
Well,
autodidact. And
the guy
learn
that doesn't
things.
know what the material conditional is going to
Hey,
tell
hey,
me.
hey,
that
hey,
is
hey, hey!
logic.
That's not a.
That's like saying
legit
you're
argument.
a player because you've had a lot of
So,
sex with yourself.
can you
I mean,
tell me?
not
Can you
really.
tell me?
Just 'cause
Not
he
really.
doesn't
Can you
know
tell me
one
what the material
concept.
conditional is, Ben?
Just because he doesn't know one concept doesn't break his whole foundation.
Well, when the
of
concept
ethics
is
and morality.
extraordinarily basic, yeah, I think it kind of.
I mean, material
it's
conditioning
like
is not
saying that
even
you understand
necessary.
physics, but then if I ask you what a Lagrangian is and you don't know,
But material
you probably
conditioning
don't
is not
understand
necessary.
physics.
You don't necessarily need to know the definition.
I don't know
of
what
that
you
to
mean
debate
by
anything.
necessary. I'm just pointing out that he doesn't understand an extraordinarily basic concept. of
Material
formal logic,
conditional is a
which
logical
seems-
connective that expresses a
Yeah, you
conditional
looked it up.
relationship
You're using
between
this
two
as a-
statements.
Yeah, but you're
represented
using
as
this
if
as a
P then Q or
reason.
P therefore Q. It's a fundamental concept in logic, particularly in classical logic. The key characteristic of a material conditional is its truth table. It's
What is
only
this,
false when the
MDMR?
antecedent
What is
P is true and the consequent Q is false. Otherwise,
200
it's
rupees?
considered true. Okay, so what?
Yeah, what I was
Without
trying
it.
to get at is you're claiming that you understand logic better than me, but you
Oh,
didn't
but
know
look,
this
You're
extraordinarily
saying
basic.
yeah, but
you're
look, he
saying
knows what
understanding
you're
logic
talking
is
about.
having
Again, it would
technical
be like
terms
if
that you can
somebody
define.
claimed they understood physics, but they didn't know what a Lagrangian was. Then you
I'm not
probably
saying
don't
that I have a
That's
understand
degree in
bullshit.
physics.
formal
That's
logic.
bullshit.
I'm not saying that.
Neither am I.
I got
All
you.
I said was that I'm pretty well versed in basic formal logic. You claimed you knew
said
more
that
than
the
me, but you
National
didn't know what the material
Socialists
conditional was.
were as
And
right
now we're
to
pivoting.
do the Holocaust
Yep, pivot. That's okay.
as people who were against them. You said that. I think that shows like a total disregard for any kind of humanity. It is idiotic.
Okay,
But
so
you want to
Frosty's
revise that? Go ahead, revise it. Say something
Yeah,
else.
I don't think
That's
he
what
can
you
have a moment
said.
to think about that while I read Frosty's comment. Morality is not collective. It evolves from the base assumptions of Christ in the Logos, the divine hierarchy of what constitutes individual good. Frosty, you literally deconverted on
Bro,
screen.
Ben, you're talking to people that believe it's a
Thank you for the
sound
super
argument
chat.
to create a hypothetical
Greatly appreciate it.
world just so they can make a point. Like this is the people you're talking to. I don't know what you assume.
Holy shit!
They always can be argued to an ad absurdum point.
Yeah.
We do this every day. So today, Leo is saying that the National Socialists, in killing 6 to 8 million Jews, were, from their perspective, no more right or wrong than those who oppose them. He said that.
I never
and
said
if
that.
you okay, well, do you not agree with that?
No.
You did say that.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
You said it's stance dependent, and I said,
yeah, I said it's stance
oh,
dependent, which is not saying the thing that you think that it is.
I
saying.
literally asked you that, and you said yes. From their perspective, they were.
Yeah, no. What I said is,
right.
did some of the Nazis think that what they were doing was okay? Yeah, probably. That's what I said.
Okay, and you would not say that they were wrong because you say
I would say that
morality
they were
is
wrong. Yeah.
Okay, so then you are not a moral non-realist.
Yes, I am.
Well,
I think they're wrong because of yeah. So me thinking they're wrong is based on my stances. Them thinking they're right is based on their stances.
Oh, both of you are accurate. Both of you are right.
Well, of course I'm right. Moral realism is.
Yeah, and
so if the
right
National
too.
Socialists had won the Second World War, we'd all be thinking that way, according to you, right?
I don't know about
and
that.
It would be moral too to think like it would be right, the right.
And
way
we'd
to
be
think.
celebrating. We wouldn't have Holocaust museums.
It would be the correct
Holocaust parties. We'd have Holocaust parades.
It would be accurate for you to do this. It would be actually, if you didn't do it, you would be against the sovereignty of your nation. That's what it would be.
All right.
Who cares? I'm not a nationalist.
When I jump in, if I'm
you're not an intellectual
I'm just
either.
Gonna start muting people.
Why? Nobody paid you money to mute. You can't be muted.
Because I'm the moderator and I'm trying to talk. So Cody says, define terms, Ben. God, Holy Spirit, Jesus, divine. I appreciate the super chat, Cody. Thank you. And Minar, you're on mute.
Okay.
I'm just saying, don't mute if nobody paid money. You're ruining the whole experience.
Well, he can. It's his stream.
How I want.
Yeah, but nobody's gonna pay anymore.
Channel, I am going to mute you. I'm done with being overtalked when I try to jump in.
Because
all right, here
you
we
muted
go.
me for 10 minutes. When somebody paid 2 minutes, nobody muted me anymore. They're like,
I believe
who
in
cares,
God, the
man?
Father Almighty, creator of heaven and earth, and in Jesus Christ, his only Son, our Lord, who was conceived by the Holy Spirit, born of the Virgin Mary, suffered under Pontius Pilate, was crucified, died, and was buried. He descended into hell, and the third day he rose again from the dead. He ascended into heaven, seated at the right hand of God, the Father Almighty. From there, he'll come to judge the living and the dead. I believe in the Holy Spirit, the Holy Catholic Church, communion of saints, forgiveness of sins, resurrection of the body, and life everlasting. Amen. You want me to do it in Latin?
Hell yeah!
Those are the definitions.
Bro, somebody donate $100 to Ben right now. He saved the Catholic religion. He's saving Catholicism right now against the dirty, donut-filled, weed absolvent atheists, bro. Look at this.
So, Ben, do you think that a sound deductive argument guarantees the truth of the conclusion?
Yes, I do. Yes.
So, as I mentioned, this deductive argument that I ran earlier is sound in my worldview.
Yeah, and you have a psychological. I believe you have a psychological impediment that makes you think that's sound.
Well, I know. That's what I'm saying.
And I'd like to hear about
you.
I'd like to hear about how you got here, but I can talk about my life. Leo can talk about his life. Minar can talk about his life, but you don't talk about your life. Now, there's an interesting point regarding this. Do you know that there's a rather strong really strong, and I think it's a psychological
micropenis
too.
syndrome, MPS.
Correlation between parental belief and the beliefs of children. And I could show you what I think anyone would find to be an interesting little piece of data showing this. It's a Swiss study, it's secular, it's not the Catholic Church. And I'd like you to explain how it is that there's such a correlation between parental belief and the beliefs of the children.
Are you asking why do kids
Now,
have,
Leo can
tend to
kind
have
of believe
the
it.
beliefs that their parents have?
I think he wants to know how religious my parents were.
I didn't say
I'd
it
like
was
to
simple.
know-
I asked if that's.
I'd like
that
to know
seems
exactly,
to be effectively what you're
because
saying.
So
Leo's
Cody
fit.
says those are
Leo was
beliefs,
raised
not
by his mother
definitions,
and
law.
rejected those beliefs.
And
that's
my
that's
parents
how the pattern
are
works. Good.
religious, but they're not that religious.
Well,
my mom believes Noah's Ark happened, but they never really pushed the stuff on me, right? They just kind of were like, they took me to church, but they didn't really push this stuff on me, right?
So your
And
mother
Triggerman
was
says,
a
"Shout out
fundamentalist Christian.
Manar, thank you so much, Triggerman.
Oh, yeah, this is good. Your mother was a fundamentalist Christian, but she wasn't like super pushy about it.
No,
Is that
she
right?
still accepted all the science. I
We've
don't know,
lost a little PSI, JL.
evolution and all that. I don't know how she wasn't fundamental. She's not.
I wore him out for you.
Yeah,
Well,
she's not
you said she believes Noah's Ark happened in the sense of
but she
worldwide flood.
She also accepts the science for everything else, so I don't know how she squares the beliefs. To be honest with you,
Okay, so and your father what?
he accepts all the science. He believes a God exists, kind of. Like I've had conversations with him about it. He's not super hardcore believer or anything.
Okay, and your parents are together?
Yeah, they've been married for 38, 40 years, something
right.
like that.
And that's probably okay. So I would say like that fits the pattern. So you tend to take on your father's beliefs actually against your mother's beliefs, and the fact that you are a very pleasant.
I had no idea my mom thought.
Hey, I think Ben is overcomplicating.
Like a year ago.
Ben, I think you're overcomplicating it. I think it's MPS.
This
I think it's
actually,
MPS.
this is actually really true. Did you know that if a father is religious and
Listen,
the mother is
my
also
mom
religious,
never rejected any of the sciences. Never told
Grace,
me any of the
Grace.
science
More
was wrong.
bullshit
She is not a
statistics.
fundamentalist.
Grace, you would be 100
well,
pounds
she
if
was
you
more
had the
religious than
MPS
your
too.
father.
I never knew that.
You never knew that? She
Never
was?
until about a year ago.
Okay, until then you had no idea of your mother's.
I had no idea.
But you don't think a worldview?
Like just like mildly religious.
Okay, but you would say religiosity works its way subtly into parenting, no?
Not really.
It doesn't?
It can.
I don't think it did with.
Why
I
did
don't
your
feel like
parents
it
tell
did
you
with
not
my
to lie and
parents. I
cheat?
mean, besides
Why did they tell you not to lie?
Like Sunday school and going to church sometimes. We didn't even go every week, right?
Okay, but that's
Cody
religiosity.
says, how can he dodge me to this? I don't know, Cody. That's a good question.
Hey, Ben, it's a very low IQ conversation.
Who's that a question to?
You don't want to debate Cody, Ben. It's a low IQ conversation. I mean,
I said I was willing to.
yeah, I know the guy makes up excuses. He's gonna tell you his internet went bad or something. He has work meeting, some dumb shit.
But Tacos agrees with him. I think because he's.
I swear, yesterday he challenged me. Then he had a meeting.
He did dodge it.
He had a meeting. I swear he challenged me. Then he had a meeting. I'm telling you. I swear, yesterday is crazy. Like,
typical atheist.
Typical. Don't debate him, man.
I mean, to be fair, he asked you to define him, and you cited the Catholic doctrine, right? Which wasn't really citing it. And then
those are not
TCH
definitional.
says if you believe in your own consciousness, I don't know what that says. To which science can only hypothesize. Why do you question the hypothetical of a greater consciousness to that of your own consciousness, a fundamental byproduct of reality? It's very simple. I think that's for me.
Evan, I'm not a lawyer.
So it's very simple. Consciousness arises as an emergent property within the physical after space-time through the process of evolution, right? You can see the gradual change over time with
Gayest.
brain, right? But thank you so much for the awesome super. I greatly
Bro, it's
appreciate
Friday,
pointing
bro.
out.
I want to go
No,
have a party.
I need to thank I need to thank this person, Minar.
I want to have a party,
Minar,
Leo.
I'm
Have you,
about to
Leo?
leave.
How
I'm gonna
embarrassed,
thank this person.
Leo? How humiliated are
All
you
right,
today?
Minar, all right, so TCH, thank you so much for the super chat. I greatly appreciate it. Sorry, you're unmuted.
Leo, have this threshold of humiliation hit that you're going to change the flag behind you? What's going to happen after
I think
this
it's really
conversation?
funny that somebody named themselves.
He
up
should put
to
a swastika
RuneScape
behind
character.
him
But,
because
regardless of
he's
that,
into
I
stuff
wanted
like
to
he
say
thinks the
that
Holocaust
science
is
doesn't
fine.
just hypothesize about consciousness. Science has pretty much explained it. I mean, we've
Bro,
empirically
you're a
confirmed that
joke,
consciousness is a physical phenomenon.
Science
This isn't,
explained consciousness.
this
Okay,
isn't-
can I
this
tell
isn't
you? Can I ask you?
something new.
How
And
does
for the
science
people that
describe
have
the
taken
flavor of an
time
apple?
to review
Can you use
the
scientific
literature
description of a
relevant
flavor
to
of an
the
apple?
neuroscience and the
Hello?
cognitive science, and has actually
Who's
looked
he
at that
talking
data,
to?
then this is clear. I'm talking to the audience.
Who are you talking
just
to, bro?
never shut
Suffers
the
from
fuck up,
autism.
so
You
you
made a
never follow
point.
the
I'm
discussions
trying to
going
prove
on.
you wrong.
And so, what you really struggle to actually
What-
follow along
What
with what people are
scientific
saying in virtue of
definitions
that fact.
are you going to use to describe the flavor of an apple consciously? Using
The flavor of an apple is rooted in the neurological activity of the brain and the broader neurophysiological activity.
Yeah, but
of the central
every
nervous system.
human being has different
That's
neurological
why if you
pathways
didn't
activated.
have a well,
You don't
that's
agree?
not
You don't agree when you
entirely
eat when you eat an apple? Every human being has different neurological pathways. Some are similar, others are different.
No,
You
I don't agree with
You
that.
don't
I don't
agree that
think
every
any-
person
I don't think any cognitive
tastes an
science. No,
apple
I just
differently?
said I don't agree with that. I don't know why you're asking me if I agree with the thing I just said I don't agree with.
Yeah, well, you're wrong.
Wait. Can I follow up on the Apple question, Leo? If you have two definitions of what happens in normal sexual activity, let's just assume you know what that is, although you haven't experienced it. When in one is a kind of scientific definition, and the other is it's the expression of love.
I get it. He's a
between
virgin.
two people.
I get it.
Between two, it's the expression of total self-giving of two.
Leo does look like
people.
an incel.
Is one true and the other not true? Or is one more?
I've never read anything written by Daniel Dennett, Topchi, just so you know. I just review the literature of neuroscience.
Leo
and
would look
cognitive
better
science.
if he changed his frames. He would look so much better.
But Leo, can you understand what I'm saying?
No, I don't.
Okay, so one, you could look up reproduction. You could say the penis enters the vagina and it moves this many inches, this many times.
He doesn't know what a vagina looks like.
Yeah, I mean, you might want to look it up. We can't do it here, but it's available online. But that would be one definition of the of the sexual act. Another might be the union of man and woman in self-giving, an expression of love ordered towards the production of children, right?
I agree, and both definitions would be accurate. You're
Are
right.
you, are you trying to say that there's a reproductive component to sex, and then there's an
Guys, we
no, that fucking words have synonymous
Minar
definitions.
got muted for 2
That's
minutes.
what I mean.
Thank you, Space Pirates. Minar is now muted for 2 minutes. Appreciate the super chat. Frosty says, God the Father is the omniscient creator. Jesus is a redeemer from sin and maker of the church. The Holy Spirit is a sanctifier that accomplishes salvation.
Yeah.
The work of the church, Milton. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's better than. Yeah. Okay. Sure.
And
what I'm saying, Leo, is would you recognize that even though one is a scientific description, that the other may be a better description?
Difference between the reproductive and the emotional aspects of sex?
And then we got Cody in the back. Are you wanting to bloodbath Cody?
I don't think it does.
I don't want to go bloodbath.
Ordered towards creation, or the creation and raising of children.
I don't have time for bloodbath right now. I just have a couple questions.
I'm giving you a Catholic definition of sex. That's the union of
but the
man
Catholic
and woman.
definition isn't the definition that the whole world and all the experts use. Why would I go with your definition? That's wrong.
Well, what's wrong about it?
It's not accurate. It doesn't.
In what way is it
summarize
not
sex
accurate?
The way it doesn't consider a lot of the psychological aspects and the emotional aspects of sex. It works from the.
What do you mean?
Extraordinarily antiquated assumptions about natural law and natural order that aren't real. So yeah, like that's nobody.
Well, can you give me an
uses these
example of
antiquated-
that, or you're just going to say like
Yeah,
it's
like
old.
what you just said.
It's
we're all-
old,
but this
therefore
is
it's
for the
wrong. That's
natural
some
order
pussy
of
shit.
things and all that stuff.
Is there a
and
natural
no, that's
order?
not.
Is that
No.
not true, Leo?
I don't know. It depends on
There's
what
no
you mean by
natural
natural order. It depends on what you
Well, how
mean
about
by
this
natural
one?
order.
Penis goes in vagina. Is that antiquated? And we were beyond it. Just because you use your hand to make love doesn't mean that the natural order has been.
Well, that's called
superseded.
masturbation, which is not making love. Those are not the same thing.
Well, I don't know what you want to call it. Whatever it is that you embark on. What I'm saying is, you don't think there's a natural order? You think that's
Welcome
just
back,
Depends on
old?
what you mean by natural order.
Well, doesn't it mean that nature has an
Bro,
order?
I just want to say I find it
But,
hilarious that
what do you mean by
Cody.
order? Like, are we talking about like the organizational structure, like phylogenetics? Because humans came up with that.
Yeah, the order of your fucking ears and eyes
Leo,
that
all
they
the
were
things we're
together, the
talking
cells
about
in
are
them.
things that humans came up with. Newsflash. I don't know who else came
Well,
up with
humans didn't come up with sex. I don't know what would make you think that.
Humans didn't come up with the word sex?
Is that what I said? Did I say humans did not come up with the word sex? Is that what I said? Is that what you heard me say?
Freak of nature.
No, but that's
The freak of
implied
nature.
because
Okay,
you
so
said
if that's not what I said, why
phylogenetic.
would you ask me if that's what
Well,
I
then,
said? when it
did
seems
humans
obvious
come up
that
with
you know that's
phylogenetics?
not what I
Well,
said.
idiot. Let's go back. You said humans came up with phylogenetics. Did humans come up with phylogenetics, or did they just use a word to describe something?
No, they came up with phylogenetics.
Or did they come up with the word to describe phylogenetics?
Well, no, phylogenetics was invented to describe what we see.
Bro, it's true.
in the
Leo does
natural
look
world.
like
the
a
biodiversity, the
Isn't that true?
biodiversity of life.
Isn't that true of sex? It was a word which we used.
Well, but you think I was referring to
You're
to
right.
the
He does look
linguistic
like a
devices
boring
rather than sex. So I don't know where you're going here. I don't know what you think you're doing.
Well, yeah. I
Wait
don't know
a
where
minute.
you're
It looks
going
like
because
it
doesn't
looks like
make any
rush
sense what
hour.
you're doing. You're
Well,
just
hey-
an angry person. You're
not
just an
angry at
angry
all.
person who won't admit that, like, a word.
Hey,
You
Ben,
don't have to
Ben,
fill
Ben,
in your
Ben,
microphone.
Ben,
It doesn't
Ben,
help
Ben,
you make a point.
Ben, when your society tells you it's okay to share your girlfriend, and because you shared your girlfriend, your big dicked friend took her away from you, of course you're going to be angry at
just-
all
oh,
times.